Slipping me and I give your old statistic. Get the man on mesh. We the scene never found from the hour of the books at the beacon on the right virus. Yeah, I see the face. We can buy more than it was. I get colors there. We should be there. Smith, with each man's there.
You're
listening
to
Being
Mr.
Book
Volume
4.
Oh my god.
We did it, everyone. We made it this far.
Not quite. Yeah, we made it this far. We're not done though. This is the last bonus episode, sort of being Mr. Maybe Book Boop Volume.
Yes.
4. First and lonely episode. All right. We're looking at the last physical release of being Mr. of Mr. Boop.
The last ever physical release. There won't be any more physical releases after this of Mr. Boop.
Well, but after these last two, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's this last little zine, and then there's the big hardcover copy, which is, you're telling me, is not really any different other than a foreword.
No, there's like a, it's formatted.
No, interior,
right? Yeah, you got this nice.
And which is not. I'm not saying that as a criticism. To be clear,
you get a.
I'm just saying that to be clear to the audience. And to spoil it for them. Now you don't get to listen through and find out. Anyway, the cover here of Volume 4 is...
Cool cover.
It's the same format. It's the same, layout as the others, with the bar on the side for the Teenager Company. So we don't have to describe that again. Is it a different...
Oh, it's in yellow now. Yeah.
It's in yellow. What were the colors before?
They alternated, I believe. It was usually a red, I reckon.
Well, this yellow is also the yellow used for the logo, where it says Mr. Boop, Volume 4, Mr. Boop, and that's kind of stuttered around it underneath in not filled in, how would you describe this? The text of the title is there's layers of it underneath that are
it's got it's got like a clear shadow, right?
Yeah, but not even a proper shadow. It's just kind of stuttered and glitched, and the whole cover is kind of like that, or the background of it anyway. It's all glitchy aesthetic. Kind of swirly as well, I don't know, Magic Eye. Let me Google Magic Eye if that's a... Yeah, it looks like a Magic Eye. It looks like a glitchy Magic Eye.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what you could see if you looked away.
Yeah, you can't see it. It's not like a real Magic Eye, but...
You can see Alec Robbins.
Yeah, well, they're in front of the whole thing, is this drawing of, the realistic styled Alec Robbins. What is this from specifically? I feel like this is from a specific page.
This is from the finale.
This is from the finale? Okay.
Video.
Oh yeah, all this art on the cover is from the finale animation. I can tell. Because you also see, but so we see Alec, and it's colored red. All the artwork over the background is colored it's like the regular drawings, but on a red overlay, as if it was drawn on red paper. It's the color of the background that it was drawn on has been turned to red, and then they've been cut out. But it's also not entirely like that either, because you can see some lines around the Alec drawing that are not red. So it's I don't know. Do you see? It's there's some spot, some. Maybe, I think maybe there's a non-red version behind it a little bit. It's just a little bit down to the...
It's been adjusted slightly.
To the right.
It's been moved.
Right and down, yeah. But it's the shot of Alec looking at the the drawing tablet and crying, I guess.
Oh,
So
look,
it's shock.
the Teenager Corporation on book 1 is yellow, on book 2 is beige, and on book 3 is black.
Is it the same yellow as?
No, it's a different yellow.
This is more like like a like
No,
a
it is a similar
lime,
one.
like a
It's-
lemon
it is a
lime
similar one.
yellow.
It's a similar yellow, I think.
I feel like I remember that one being more like a mustardy yellow, and this is more like sort of like a lemon lime neon, but like
perhaps.
not super bright. So like almost like mustard mixed with like neon lemon lime, or like not mixed with, but like a neon lemon lime that's like more adjusted down to the muted color of like a mustard.
Yes.
I'm not gonna hex code it.
Uh,
And the red is, by the way, the red that the drawings are on colored on is like a not quite a blood red, but like a it's not a blood red at all. It's
like a
like a
cherry
tomato red.
Yeah.
Cherry red would be darker, I think. This is like a tomato red. But like ketchup might be, I mean, yeah, tomato red, but not ketchup red. Ketchup would be darker, but this is like a tomato red, I would say. Pretty much, more or less. I'm gonna Google tomato.
Okay. I'll Google tomato.
I'm
and
gonna
then
Google tomato.
Then we'll
Yeah, this
cool the
looks-
whole thing off.
Yes,
Um,
this looks about right. Yeah, tomato, sure, close
yeah.
enough.
You've described the people
Depends
we
if
see
it's
in
tomato
this.
as well.
You've
Yeah,
described
the people
figures.
behind are
Yeah.
Betty and Liz.
Liz. Yeah.
Betty and Liz.
They're both in their crucifix positions, but
yeah.
you know,
They're T pose positions, but they're distorted. So we don't even really see their arms out, or even their like. We mostly just see their torso and head, and their legs and arms are like most distorted, and they're
Real
like
cool-
glitched. This one, no, go on.
It's a really cool dramatic dramatic recreation of Alec's revelation. You know, very expressing his feelings.
I feel like the glitch effect on these two is the most hard to describe. It's just got like the most going on. Like, yeah, the legs are a bit
familiar
swirly.
with,
There's like some swirly
yeah.
effects behind.
You guys
but it's
familiar with the Tasmanian Devil?
yeah, it's sort of twistery, I guess, a little bit. Twistery, blustery.
It's like they've
Flustery.
been spun. Like they've been
top,
spun.
like
yeah.
a top, yeah.
Like a Beyblade.
I mean, so yeah, so it's sort of, but also like, but it's not just that. Like, there's also like it's like they've fallen into the glitch effect behind the Magic Eye background is part of it. It's like they're becoming a part of that. Sort of, I don't know.
So
It's worth noting Alec does not really seem distorted at all in this way.
no, he doesn't. He's in the foreground. He's completely
Yes, it's all that. All
unaffected.
that is in the background.
except for his line art, which is shifting. You know.
Yes, yeah, a little bit, but that I mean, yeah. Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh, you're right. Wait, and I had said that, but I think it actually is like they did something.
Hmm.
It's interesting. It's.
There's like a.
I
yeah.
thought the doubled line art was like behind it, like, but I guess it's on top. So you can actually, if you look closely, you can actually see that it is like doubled up
It's all
everywhere,
throughout, yeah.
but not everywhere. Like the eyes aren't doubled up. The face and
face-
stuff isn't doubled.
Yeah,
up.
that
Like,
would be too distracting. I think.
exactly.
It's meant to be
like
a subtlety.
it's more around the edges of like. I don't think it's even on the bottom like hair swoop, but like it's on the top of the hair, and it's like on both sides of the hair. It's on both of the ears, but it's not on the face at all.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
Yeah. Would be. It's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I feel like. Yeah. distract
It's-
from his facial expression or whatever.
In
I
fact-
feel like this shaking effect really does is a really interesting way of conveying Alex.
I'm gonna correct what I said earlier, which was that it was moved a little bit like down to the right. I don't think it's down or to the right. It's just right. It's just moved like a tiny bit to the right, just so that it's a little bit off. But it's not moved down at all.
And in his chest, we see the text in yellow or mustard or whatever. The 100% final chapter of the comic strip by Alec Robbins, which is imitating how the last book said what the 100% unauthorized something.
Oh, I was wondering about that. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
it
only
made me
in the,
suspicious. I was like, why are they like the 100% final chapter? Maybe it's not the final chapter. No, but it is. It is. Or is it?
But I see when I saw the when we looked at the volume 3 book for the first time, and it says 100% censored comic strip. I was remembering this, and I was like, "That's a
So
recurring
each of them
thing."
says 100%.
No,
something?
it doesn't. Just the last two.
Oh,
Yeah, the first one says the completely true, something. No, the first one says the titillating, fully legal comic strip. Second one says the completely true comic strip, and then the third is 100% censored, and this is 100% lost. The final.
wait. So there are. It's not just the last two.
It is the last two. It's just the first two say the completely or whatever. No, sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
the first two they said the completely. Oh,
Well.
okay. Worth noting, I don't know. I assume these are different colors on the previous volumes, but the $16 and 18+ on the side are colored. I think the exact same color as the red that Alec and Betty and Liz are colored in. Not gonna eyedrop it to see, but yeah.
You don't need to.
That's the cover.
No one would ask you to do that.
Well, now I'm gonna do it. Okay, so let's see.
That's why we started. That's the attitude that caught us into this situation in the first place.
Copy and paste. Since this is paint, I can't really check what color things are, so I'm just gonna color connect the two colors with a brush and see if there's any difference. And there's a little bit, I think, but it's just a tiny bit off color to the point where I think it's just like I took the eyedropper in maybe like a weird place or something.
Well,
yeah,
right.
I think that's what happened because it looks kind of off color on both. Whatever.
Well, let's
I
flick
think
off.
it's the same color.
Let's flick to the first page.
Okay, I will do that. Yep, we're gonna flick it open. So the inside cover is the drawing of Alec like on their knees.
His hand. It's from what's the strip 217, or is it from the No, true 16, right?
Is this the same drawing or?
It's the same. It looks like the same drawing to me. It's like,
Fine, I'll go to MrBoop.net and look at
/hates quest 21 / .html.
No, 216. No.
It's. I mean, it's not loaded for me yet, so I can't really see.
Then no, it's not.
So it's the same one as in 217.
Oh, yeah, it's the one from the finale. It's actually the one from the thumbnail of the finale.
Yeah.
On YouTube. Alec on their knees, hands on head, clutching head, whatever. We don't need to describe it again. You know the drawing. We described it in being Mr. Finale, whatever. We didn't call it that because it wasn't a bonus episode, whatever. And then it says...
but that's the unofficial title. Let's see. We're calling it
Mr.
now.
Boop Volume... And this is in the corner. Mr. Boop Volume 4, Roman numerals, by Alec Robbins, which is... So IV... that's also how it is on the cover as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god! No! 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 That's why they're on their knees. That's why they're like, no, dear God, no, it can't be. It can't be.
It's only because he's realized he's misput the title. It's meant to be ID.
Oh,
Not
for fuck's sake. By Alec Robbins. February 2021, the period after that.
That's when it
a
was
little bit weird to punctuate after just, it's not a sentence.
Yep.
Cover
Dumbass.
design by Casey Nowak.
Did
that who
Casey-
usually-
Yeah, I don't know.
I think Alec did the first two.
No,
the second
Alec
one
did
was
the third one. Maybe
I think the first one
Number
too. The first one too.
Right, yeah.
Pretty sure. This one was
it's
not
the
a
second
drawing.
one that has artwork by Remy Boydell.
Who is Casey Nowak though?
Casey Nowak is a comic book artist, I believe, who is dating Alec Robbins right now.
Oh, okay.
I believe, and she did what's it called? Girl Town, which is a great anthology
And
comic.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Ah,
Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer New School Nightmare from 2018. I didn't know they were still making Buffy comics.
I
remember when
recommend Girl Town though. It's good stuff.
I remember when
nearly
Buffy
sent it
ended,
to-
they continued the story in a comic, and it was
Mhm.
my sister was a fan of the show, and the comic was, I guess, not as good. I don't know if they thought it wasn't as good. I think they thought it wasn't as good. It was like a weird direction. This is not that though. This is a different comic. Actually, it says it seems to be for a younger. It says reading age 8 to 12. So that's interesting because Buffy isn't like a.
It's not an 8 to 12 thing.
No, I don't think so. No. Oh, it says
Well, maybe not to you.
not to continue on this, but I just saw it says is the first graphic novel from the Buffy Vampire series for young readers. Okay, that's
Well,
interesting, and Lumberjanes also. Okay. Public.
Casey
That's
Nowak
also a
did
period after
Lumber-
that.
Lumberjanes?
Huh?
Oh, Casey did. No, I think that Casey Nowak did like the later Lumberjanes after the original person. Stop.
Right, they're not the creator of Lumberjanes.
Yeah.
No, that would have been the most notable thing, probably.
Yeah.
Well, because it's just more
Guildtown's good.
so well known. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not a
No, I was just adding.
period after that, published by the Teenagers Company. Period. Some links which you cannot click because it's a book.
Yeah.
It says
Dumbass.
HTTP.
See, this is why Alex sucks.
What a
Why is he
fucking
putting
idiot.
Why is he putting this in the book? You can't click. I don't understand
I'm
it.
gonna add this to the questions.
Why did you keep printing the book? It didn't work in the first publication. Why did you put it in the other ones?
http://alec.land, http://mrboop.net, Twitter logo at Alec Robbins. That's gonna be doubly dead soon. Instagram logo at Alex Robbins.
Who is Alex Robbins?
The next page is just says Mr. Boop in gray. I feel like that's a recurring thing, maybe for
Probably.
these.
I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, they not always in gray, but
Right, sometimes it's in black.
sometimes in gray.
Next page says page 4, but it's really page 3 because the cover isn't a page.
Actually, wait. First two are in black. Third one is in gray, but it's been censored. So
in
interesting.
black.
In black, yeah.
And that's why it was in gray.
Yeah. So maybe he just forgot to turn the opacity up when he was redesigning, when he went back to this PDF.
Huh? Maybe
this project file.
that's an interesting theory.
We'll pose it to him.
No, we won't. Previously on Mr. Boop. This is what the next page is. Previously on Mr. Boop, and it's written in the same way. It's formatted in the exact same way as the previous volumes, which we're not going to describe again. But I think it even has a lot of the same. I think that at least the first two panels are the same. probably. I'm not gonna go back and check, but like they seem like we see these every time. I know they're in here every time. I don't know if it's always the first two. The first one is always the same.
The text is different from the other ones. I'm looking over them.
Right, the text is probably different.
Yeah.
And this is so this first panel is panel, without checking, I think it's panel 3 from strip 1.
That
or panel 2. It's not panel 1, right?
I don't know. Let's give it a look.
Okay, let's give it a look.
Panel.
I'm actually
3.
I'm gonna check by going to beingmrboop.net and looking at our fan redraw on the about page. I was right. It is panel 3.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said, man, I don't know.
You said no. You're a fucking idiot, Ryan.
What?
You're wrong.
No, Ryan, that was off character. That wasn't. We weren't recording when I said that.
Oh, sorry. I forgot you cut that out.
Sorry,
that
that was
a
bit of a behind the scenes.
Millicent, edit that
but,
out too. Oh shit, Millicent works for someone else.
Right. I mean, listeners, a bit of behind the scenes, but every now and again we have to cut the episodes so I can just chew Ryan out. I can just yell at him.
And we make sure to cut all of this out as well, so they don't know.
It's. I mean, you see the angry energy that Chris brings to being Jim Davis. Mm-hmm. We try to cut that out,
Yeah. Well, we want to still have it there so that it flows good, but like we don't want to take everything from them, right?
You guys would be really uncomfortable if you heard the things I said.
He's actually way more abusive than Chris is. Anyway. Panel 3. Should we read these for old time's sake? Since this is the last episode.
All right.
I'll start. I'm so lucky I'm married to Betty Boop.
I'm in love. That's what Betty says.
Is that the actual Betty Boop on the call with us right now?
Whoa! Hey guys! I hope you like my comic. Whoa!
Hey guys, here's my ID.
I do. No.
And under that panel it says, our story began with Alec and Betty Boop, happily married. A perfect life. Electro Point. And then under the second panel, which is a double wide, it says, soon Alec and Betty started having lots of three-ways and orgies with all of their copyrighted cartoon friends. And
That's
there's,
true.
Goku, Fred Flintstone, Betty Boop, Alec, Girl Version, Ranma, Jessica Rabbit, and Gardevoir. And they all say, 3, 2, 1.
That was the damn night of our lives. Did we read what the caption was for this?
Yes. And this is from, I don't know. I'm not gonna look up the fucking individual strips. This is ridiculous. You can tell from context which panel this is. All right, go look it up.
Dumbass.
Let's not go that far.
No, Ryan, I was talking to you.
What is the next? You're supposed to cut that out. What does the text say?
Betty's father, Mr. Boop, sued Alec, Mr. Boop, for copyright infringement, marrying his daughter, and forced him to end his autobiographical comic.
Why did the first half of that sound like a question?
I don't know.
Betty's father, Mr. Boop, sued Alec, Mr. Boop, for copyright infringement, marrying his daughter? It's more likely than you think.
It's true. It happened and it was real.
There's 3 panels above this.
Yes.
Which are
we got Mr. Boop, the titular non-titular Mr. Boop, doing a Wario arm dash towards.
We don't need to describe them in detail like that, it's Betty and Alec and titular non-titular Mr. Boop, and then the second panel is just the titular non-titular Mr. Boop, and then the third panel is from another strip because those two are from like in sequence. And then this third panel is from like another strip. where's Alec talking to the audience? And they're out there. Anyway, I will be Mr. Roop. You will be Mr. Roop. And scene that you. Well, I'm supposed to say that after the scene, but whatever. I hope you know that by showing your face around my daughter again, you have breached our agreement.
Oh no! You are going to kill me now?
What is that?
It's me, Mario.
It's me,
no.
Alec. It's me, Mr. Boop.
I'm married to a Betty Boop. I'm married to the world famous Betty Boop.
She lives up with a lucky guy. It's me. I'm the lucky guy. Or is it Gee Whiz? What a lucky guy. Who knows? Nobody knows the lyrics. Worse, I'm going to sue you.
Ooh. As you know, each and every Mr. Boop strip is based on my actual real life.
I like this voice for Alec. It's like
sued for
just
trying
pathetic
to
enough.
marry my wife Betty Boop.
You didn't pause it all for
And
that.
then I
You
was
just kept
really
going.
forced
Kept powering
in
through
my
the dialogue.
long-running comic about my marriage to my now ex-wife Betty Boop.
Perfect.
He's also vaguely European, so that's great.
It's well, yeah. Mario is vaguely European,
I think he's explicitly European.
vaguely Italian, because no Italians actually sound like that. So it's vague in that way.
Yeah.
The next row. So those are the first two rows. Third and final row. Under this panel, it says Alec, in real life, made a public confession and admitted he was never actually married to Betty Boop in the first place. And then there's a panel of Alec nervously at their drawing tablet, and Alec says, I've made a public confession. Please take a look. It will explain everything. Thank you. And I'm sorry. Which was a precursor to a video, which is not...
Presumably, we the people have read it. People have seen it. You know, that is fun.
Wait. Was that in panel? Was that in book? That was in book 3 that those were in, right? Wait. How did that go? Did we do book 3? We did book 3, right?
Yeah, of course.
How did the videos how were those incorporated?
Let's see.
Because I don't remember now. Oh yeah, are you looking through your physical copy?
No, I should be though, because I was looking for my PDF copy.
Yeah, I mean it's right there in front of you. So.
Hey, yeah.
I mean we're all looking through the physical copies. Yep.
Yeah,
I have mine right here. That was not just a stack of index cards with different names for video games on them. Such as Garfield Mahjong, aka Handicap Dominoes, aka Garfield's Jong, aka Mahjong Your Jong.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Garfield
it is.
Mahjong.
It's a image of a TV screen, a vintage TV screen with a screenshot of the strip club confession with text: "Breaking news: Cartoonist lied about being married to Betty Boop." And then
That's right.
Oh, and then it's a. After that, it is a screenshot of a phone with the script for his confession on it.
Oh, with a phone? Oh, yeah. like a notes app apology.
Like a notes app apology.
What
Should have
about,
been a
does
twit
it have
longer.
Does it have the I forgive you, Mr. Boop in it at all?
No, I forgive you, Mr. Boop. In this universe, he wasn't forgiven, I guess.
What does the next text say?
The next text says, "The readers
on
of
this,
the
on this recap page.
The readers of the comic were outraged and confused before they unanimously, no exceptions, forgave him in a beautiful moment of redemption."
Unanimously, no exceptions.
Yeah.
Not. I don't know. Not unanimously or whatever.
Unanimously.
Not unanimously.
Unanimously.
Oh my god. Unanimously. And no exceptions. And that's in brackets. Not
forgave him in a beautiful moment of redemption. And one reader in particular seems a little more smitten than others. And I'm not going to say what that is on the end there.
It's an Electries! You fuck! What does this reader say as they're looking at their monitor and in their chair?
What the
In
hell?
these two panels.
I
What
thought,
the hell? Oh no, son.
I thought we all knew it was supposed to be a joke. Or is this just another layer of irony?
Electro Heart.
Well, it was funny.
There's also 2 Electro Hearts after Hell. It's interesting because if you're just reading the physical copy, like I assume S. Craig Zoller, director of Pronged Subblock 9920, was when they read Mr. Boop and logged it on their Goodreads page. If they would not know about the apology. I mean the forgiveness video, being Mr. Forgiveness. They wouldn't know about that.
But these recap pages aren't in the.
Do you think S. Craig Zoller was
omnibus.
just listening to our podcast?
Presumably.
But then caught up to
But the
and
thing
then had to
is-
read the rest because we weren't finished recapping it yet.
No, no, but these recaps aren't printed in the omnibus, so
Oh.
yeah. So there would be no implication of a forgiveness.
Wow, I wonder if they made a Captain Underpants omnibus if it wouldn't have recaps either. That's a big part of it.
Oh, yeah,
Because those are actually good.
yeah. Unlike the rest of the book.
No, I mean, what? No,
those are
because
the good parts of the book.
I meant as opposed to these, because this is just the
This
the
is
thing.
shit, Alec. This is shit.
No, it's not. I would be fun though if it was like the Captain Underpants thing where it's like Alec kind of like redraws a little recap where it's like this is what happened in previous, kind of an homage to that.
Mhm.
Probably they're too old for Captain Underpants. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is more of an homage to what's it
I
called?
feel like it's an homage to anything.
Anime.
It's just like this. Is
I mean, like anime
previously
has these sorts of previously on.
Oh, so you think this is like Pokemon?
Yeah, sure, like a Pokemon or like another anime. That does
Previously on Mr. Boop,
that.
our
story-
heroes.
Yeah, you can imagine Alec narrating it. Our story began with Alec and Betty Boop happily married. A perfect life? Soon, Alec and Betty started having lots of freeways and orgies with copyrighted cartoon friends. Betty's.
I like that actually. Well, okay, but what if you're just reading the zines and then there's
I don't know
okay,
what
yeah, the
human
readers
being is just
forgave,
reading.
and it's like where did that happen?
What
Bitch, where? That
context?
didn't happen. That wasn't in the text.
Well,
You're making
this
shit
is
up
this
now.
is the text now.
It's just, you retconned it.
Yeah, well, you just added a little bit on. This is your implication that everyone forgave them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, next page. All black, white logo, Mr. Boop, volume ID. I mean IV, Mr. Boop, and then underneath by Alec Robbins in italics. Whatever. It's the usual format. And then it
Then
starts.
we got a bunch of shitty pages.
Yeah, then we got a bunch of actual story. We gotta
I'm
skip
really-
that shit.
Yeah, we don't really. We
Done
don't
that
really do
already.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
how the logo actually it moves a little bit. Like the logo and the panels, even though they're drawn the same. Actually, the panels I don't think are drawn the same in every.
I'm doing it. I'm looking at it like a flip book.
It is kind of like a flip book. I didn't. The logo is not redrawn every time. The logo is always copy and pasted, but it does move a little bit. It's like they do copy and paste it every time. It's not just like
Sometimes it's a little darker than the shading is a little darker. I think.
You think the shading is redone? No, I don't think.
know.
I don't know. I don't think it's redone.
Hmm.
I don't think it's darker. I think it's just moving a little bit, and that kind of gives the illusion of that. Anyway, when it gets to the final strip, which is a video, it kind of goes still images. I guess I can see
Like a
how this,
storyboard.
it was kind of set up that way. How it was kind of just like a moving strip anyway.
Yeah.
So you get this shot of Alec at the tablet.
There are actually
Actually,
there are actually some because I was looking through this whilst we were doing the actual video, and there are some actual noticeable differences. So I'm gonna.
I can
pull
see that
up.
already. Well,
Yeah.
it starts with just the shot of Alec at the tablet, like the video does, but then it's just white. Just there's a page of just white,
Yeah.
and then a shot of Alec.
In the. Well, I mean, it's not just white, is it?
That, yeah, maybe this is a glitch on the.
No, wait.
digital
Let me see. No,
version.
no. Oh, I see. No,
Shot
sorry.
of tablet,
I was
then
looking.
a page of just white. Yeah.
That page of just white.
Oh, it's probably next to it.
It's
or
not,
something.
no, it's not. Not on my
No?
version. That page is just white.
Oh, interesting.
Bizarre.
Oh yeah, that is weird. I wonder if that's an accident.
Mm.
Because I assume how it's laid out is like shot of the tablet and then a shot of Alec next to it.
Mhm.
And then because then the next two pages are double wide of the shot of Alec clutching their face. And
Yes.
then the next
Did
two
we
pages
mention
is
Tis? Yeah,
Huh?
whatever.
it's the
sorry.
panel from the thumbnail
Yeah. But in the
on a gray background.
I want to point out that in the video version, the background fades in during those close-ups on his face. It fades in to red, but here it's just the plain white background throughout.
Well, yeah, and it's because this is all black and white.
Yeah, saving money on the printers, I guess.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
you're looking at the full collection, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a little bit of color just for those last pages.
Mm.
I mean,
Saving money on
not
the
I'm not
printers.
surprised, but like that would have been interesting if they did that. I guess. Yeah. Then the shot of Alec looking up. Alec sees Bug with pointing the gun. We're breezing through this because we covered this already.
No, but well, the background is blue in the original version.
Yeah, but they already know there's no colors,
Oh, okay,
so it's just
alright,
so it's just gray.
alright. I just wanted to,
So Bug's pointing the gun at their mouth, looks to the side. Alec is hand on gun, smiles sweetly. Bugs pushes the gun down. Tearfully looks at Alec holding up a VHS Space Jam. Bugs looks shocked, starts crying. They hug. The copy of Space Jam is gone somehow. Close up of them crying, same shot. And I mean hugging. Alec's eyes open. This is you can tell this was like meant to be like an animatic as you're just like flipping through pages.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like this with Homestuck. You know what? Okay, I got my copy of Homestuck Book 1, Acts 1 and 2 here. Not sure how or if this is any different from the Topetico prints, but this is from Viz. And what's the first cutscene? Where is that?
I'm pretty sure the first cutscene is when he's playing the piano.
Because a lot of the pages of Homestuck are like GIFs, so it's
yeah.
pretty easy to kind of.
I think the final there's only one in book Act 1, and it's at the very end. John Ascend or whatever the fuck it's called.
Book Act 1. Well, this is Acts 1 and 2. So that would be the part right before they cut to Rose's perspective.
I'm pretty sure that's also in Act 1. That's just before he enters
here's the end
land,
of Act 2.
you
Here's
know.
the end of Act 2.
Alright.
I can't tell if this is a cutscene or not. Is it John take bite of apple? Is that
I'm
it?
pretty sure that's it. Yes.
Because there are a lot of frames here, and there's like a timer ticking down.
Yeah, that's it. That's the
Um,
number.
Funny enough, this is like more seamless up to a point, up to like the last shot of like an explosion about to hit John.
Mhm.
Then there's like a lot of frames of like the same shot with an explosion getting closer. Then you can kind of tell it was meant to be an animatic originally. And then there's a few shots of like curtain closing and stuff and that. So there's a few shots there, but there's a whole page of just like different like shots of different places and like close-ups and stuff. That feels like a comic. That doesn't actually read to me as an animation at all. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know how when they get to like the game stuff how that's pulled off at all, because like I don't know, probably just a lot of pages of dialogue is what it is. I imagine there's a lot of.
Actually,
I
you
don't
could
know
look
about
at
in
in
books
your
one or
book.
two,
Yeah, you
but-
can look for what's it called? The you the S you there boy. That's the first game, and that's in Act 2.
You there, boy. Where's that?
That's like
I haven't read this in so long.
That's a couple of pages after the beginning of Act 2.
Humor us, listeners. We're not doing
Yeah.
a Homestuck
doing-
podcast. I already said I wouldn't do that, so this is our one chance to do it. Is to
Yeah.
do a little bit of Homestuck podcast.
Other than the episode that had Homestuck in it.
Here's a lot of text. Which one was that?
That was the one where Homestuck characters appeared in.
Oh, that's right. Holy shit! Look at all this text.
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
That's a lot. That's a whole lot of text.
That's the Homestuck I know.
Yeah. Got a whole lot
A
of
lot of
text.
this is like a
text,
comic.
Text, so for you to love.
I bet in the people probably looking, I guess people probably like. I mentioned someone at the bookstore flipping through this, and they're like, "Oh, this is like a comic book, okay." And then they get to like the physical copy of like book 3, and it's like, "What the fuck? This is like all text.
Yeah.
Where are the panels?"
Now, interesting. I've just noticed this. The You There Boy game is actually not on the site anymore properly, or at least it's not the first version you can see.
Oh, because that would be like Flash.
Because it's all Flash. Better install
Only-
that.
You can
better,
only read the Viz version now.
Well, no,
Where-
it's
what-
it's probably formatted the same because they reformatted that game.
What
For the site.
page?
Page.
Yeah, because it says the digital page numbers as well.
253.
Okay, 253. All right.
Boop, boop, boop,
I like that's actually pretty cool that it has both of them there.
doo.
This does not look like a game.
Nah.
What do you mean? How is it a game? I don't understand. I don't remember.
Usually, you would walk around
You-
John's
you-
house.
Oh, so you
and
you play
look at
as
shit.
John.
Yeah. And you look
Okay,
at shit.
interesting. I guess because the comic already like looks like that, it doesn't read as any differently.
Mm,
It kind of just looks like it. I mean, it is more repetitive than the previous panels, but like, other than that, it does look like how everything already looked.
mhm.
But yeah, okay, it does look like just screenshots of a game. But so did the rest of the comic, to be fair.
So basically, what we're saying is install the Better Homestuck Chrome extension for
Sure, is that a thing?
So yeah, it re-puts in the Flash games or something.
I like Problem Sleuth has a lot more simpler GIFs and there's no animations. I don't think there's any animations in Problem Sleuth, right? Just GIFs,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
I think so. So the physical copies of those read a lot more simply. Problem Sleuth is just better in general. Anyway, so it's just one shot of the close up of them hugging, and then another almost identical shot. I honestly think maybe Alex screenshotted the animation because it's just a little bit more zoomed in, where it's like as if it was still like panning zoom in
Mm.
when
Well,
the eyes
he opens
open.
his eyes.
Maybe. And we see the shot of Betty in the doorway, Alec walking over on a blank background, Betty in a spotlight, close up Betty crying, Alec wipes the tear away, Alec is crying close up but smiling, hand up Betty's face, Alec crying, you want to take over, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm just okay.
Never mind, I can
No,
flip
I
the
know.
pages
I'm
faster. I
just
can flip
saying.
the
I'm
pages
just no,
faster.
but there are some differences here. The image is flipped in my physical version for some reason.
Mhm.
The image
What do you
is
mean?
flipped. Alec
Flipped?
is facing left, and Betty is facing right. Yeah,
Weird.
Peculiar.
Well, huh.
and the doorway that Betty walked in through was colored in, fully colored. Like
What do you mean?
like in a light gray. with shading.
Oh, huh. In your copy?
Yeah, in my copy.
Huh.
Peculiar, intriguing, and also there's black pages between all of these panels you're flipping through.
Black pages.
Between her at the door, there's a black page. Between her and the spotlight, there's another back page.
Wait,
but
looks. I'm looking at the page of her in the doorway you sent. This looks exactly the same.
Does it? Let me
Yes.
see. Let me see on my PDF. No, this isn't
Look, it
the
looks
same
exactly
at all.
the same.
No, this is
It is. Oh, the frame. I thought you meant the inside of the door. The
no,
frame
the
is
actual
colored in.
door. Yeah, the door itself is.
Oh, the
colored
door
in.
itself is colored in too. I didn't.
Yeah.
Know, I didn't notice that wasn't colored in. That actually seems like an error.
They gave us an early version on these PDFs. Yeah.
Seems like it, yeah. So there's a shot of Alex smiling, and then a shot of Alex's hand on Betty's face. Same exact shot of Alex smiling. It's a little bit more zoomed in, though. I really think these are just screenshots of the video. Is it colored? Is the door frame colored in the video?
Oh, well, let's give me a look.
You check.
No, it's
While-
not
while I
colored in
continue.
the video. It's not.
Yeah, okay. I think this is screenshots of the video.
But for the printed edition, they went back.
Because also this is darker. Like the background is darker in the printed version.
Yeah.
And then this is just like this is like
Just
a gray,
the grayscale
as if it's
version.
like
yeah.
as
I
if it's
wonder
like,
why.
I think it is just screenshots of the video.
I wonder what the flipping is all about. Like I said,
I don't think that's intentional.
really? Do you think they just accidentally put it on the wrong page and then flipped it?
Well, there was a page in here that was accidentally just all white. Like
No, I don't think you can make this same error for like 6 pages or however long they're on these sides.
I think it's just formatted.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
improperly.
Not improperly. I think it gives more of a when you're holding it physically, it gives a different effect to have Alec on the right and to have Betty on the left.
Maybe this should just be formatted differently in general. Like their e-reader should be formatted differently, where it shows 2 pages at a time.
That's true. Well, I mean, I don't know what e-reading thing you're looking at. Because on some you can look at 2 pages.
Well,
at
that's
once.
true. But I assume the pages are still like either way. This is Gumroad. I'm looking at. I mean, I have the physical copy right here. This is not Homestuck. This is just the real. But I'm also looking at the digital copy because we're doing our due diligence here.
Yeah, we're seeing the minute differences between them all.
Yes. And I assume even if I downloaded this and put this on a Kindle or something, if that's even possible, it would still show 1 page at a time. Because if it showed 2 pages at a time, well, I guess it would. No, yeah, I guess it could, but it would be flipped still,
Yeah,
which
it
is
would.
weird. I don't think it's like that because it's showing 1 page at a time.
No,
I don't
I don't
know.
think.
I don't
I don't know. I think that this is copying the formatting that's in the video. Because in the video, Alec is on the left, right? Like you said, it's just. I think it's just screenshots.
So it's not even really.
But for the physical book, the omnibus, he's been flipped.
No, yeah. Listen, I don't think it's like that because they made a different choice for this. It's because this is still just screenshots of the video, and I think when it was put into the omnibus, I don't know if it. Yeah, I think this for the zines, this is how it looked, and I think this is how the physical copies of the zines looked as well.
Mm-hmm.
But for the omnibus, I think it was redone a little bit.
Yeah,
The
they went back
screenshots
to
of
the
the videos.
PDF, remastered. I
I think.
yeah, but
that's
I
what
still
it is.
think it's there is still an active decision in flipping it. I think. Even
But
if
it's not flipped because this is how it is in the video.
No,
You
but
mean-
on the
you mean-
physical edition, on my omnibus, it's flipped.
Yeah, but they did that after. It was a
Yeah.
decision for that. It wasn't a decision for the digital.
Okay, when we get to the physical one in the omnibus in like 5 minutes or whatever, we'll talk about that.
Well, we already just said.
Yeah, but we haven't really discussed. I mean, I guess I've said.
What is there to discuss?
I mean, why do you think? What do you think? I don't know. What?
I don't know. I don't really.
I don't think it's possible to make a error. Of,
I don't.
Like
I'm
that.
not saying it's an error. I
Yeah.
mean, I did say that, but I was talking about like for the digital version, but I changed my mind. I think it's just because they're screenshotting the video.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think it does. I mean, I have no idea how it would read physically if they were on the other sides, but I think the way it draws your eye physically is from
Sure.
Betty on the left. Yeah, it's cool, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I'll agree to that. I don't have any other idea of
Mhm.
like. It feels like such a small little arbitrary detail. I guess that's more to
Wait a second.
guess theorize.
I've just
about
figured
because
something
because
out.
It's such a small thing that
I
they
got
decided to change. But
Wait, I figured it out. Go back to the last shot of Bugs holding Alec. What direction is he looking in? He's looking left because he's seen Betty, and then the next we see Betty. Yeah, keep moving. A couple panels later, and he's walking in the opposite direction.
The camera just panned around.
Yeah, the camera. Yeah.
What?
The
camera panned around.
Yeah.
Is this how it was in the video?
Yeah,
I
I'm
assume
pretty
so.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, the 180 rule. The 180 rule.
Sure. Sure.
That's what. Okay, I think that's why they flipped it in the book because they're like, oh shit, he's looking the other way.
So after the second shot in a row, not quite in a row, but the second shot of Alex smiling a little bit with the tears in his eyes, the shot kind of looks like he's fondling Betty, I guess. Then another page of just
More
white.
like Betty breasts.
She just said Betty boob.
This is
Come on.
Betty breasts.
Why? Why would that be? So there's another page of just white, and then the shot of Betty T-posing, Alex on the ground. Double page. Wait, what? Wait. Okay, I need to know how this looks in the physical copy because this is weird. It's like it's a shot of half of Betty, and then another. The next page is the same shot of half of Betty, but now cracked, like in the video.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. This is like not the same. These aren't the same. These aren't the same.
Half of Liz, and then. Oh, what the? This is so weird. How does this at all like? How does this at all look in the? We should have bought the physical versions of the zines to be sure, but this is like.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how this is supposed to be presented in like a. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to count out so I know what are the double pages because I know what last time there was a double page. So. So that's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. These are mostly shot reverse shot. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You can kind of see how these are. A lot of them are like thing and then reaction to thing.
Mhm.
1 2. Then the white. Oh, but the white, is that actually part of it or not? I don't know if the white is like.
Interesting. I'm going.
Okay, I think the white is part of it because it's white and then there's the shot of Betty floating T-pose. So I think that's 2 pages, white and then that. So then I think the next 2 pages is half of Betty, then half of Betty cracked. Then the next 2 pages, half of Liz in the exact same way, and then a middle shot of Betty where the arms are cut off on both sides by the page, this is a really weird format. If these are the 2 pages side by side, I don't know. I feel like that reads really weird in a physical copy. How does this look in? Well, all right. Well, let's.
I'm
We'll get into it.
I'm gonna send you how this sequence looks in the
Okay.
book because I can't. It's so different. I
Next two
can't
pages, pages 88 and 89 are that same shot of Betty, middle shot of Betty cracked, and then a middle shot of Liz, and then the next few pages gray, and then Liz is floating. Is bigger than Betty was when Betty was floating. So those are 2 pages. So I think I was right that those are about the pages that are paired.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really these two, especially the shot of half of Liz and then the shot of like middle shot of Betty. That's an especially weird pairing of 2 pages like that, especially since a lot of the pages were like shot and then reaction or shot reverse shot. Those feel like they don't pair together at all compared to the others, especially when the previous 2 pages were one shot of half of Betty and then the exact same shot but full of cracks.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that the next 2 pages would be half of Liz and then half of Liz full of cracks. I don't know if that was in the video or not. Probably not. But it's like it's not like formatted the same way. It's weird.
Yeah.
What?
No, nothing. I was just looking for through the video to compare.
Excuse me. Okay. Next 2 pages is a two-part spread of Ralph's.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun.
Our favorite location.
Shot of Alec down the grocery aisle. Shot of Liz down the grocery aisle. Again, makes sense. 2 pages. Shot of this is not a 2-page spread. This is like it's letterboxed to fit in onto this page of like their carriages about to collide, and then another letterbox shot of them just walking past each other. Those are 2 pages. Still letterbox shot of Liz walking away, then shot of Alec walking away, looking back, crying. Were these letterboxed in the video?
No, they weren't.
Interesting.
No.
Page 100
Yeah.
is the close-up of the Sonic logo in black and white. Which was not black and white in the video, was it?
No, it wasn't.
And it's still low res. Like, these are just screenshots from the video. I have to know, does this look any better in the physical version?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Do you think it looks better than this does?
I think
this
it
looks like it's
yeah.
taken from a screenshot taken from a 240p YouTube video.
Let me give it.
Which works
Yes,
in
it
the
looks
video.
a lot better
It works
than
in the
this.
video, but in the physical copy, it's like, what? Come on.
I think that looking at the omnibus, I think that someone, either Silver Sprocket or Alec, were not pleased with how the finale was formatted, or at least wanted it to be done better. Because I think it is better.
I think it was probably Alec.
remastered. Yeah. I should, yeah.
Yeah, I think this I don't want to criticize too much, but I do think this is probably the worst part of it is the very low res JPEGs just stuck in here, which I mean it's a little bit funny. I think it works better in the YouTube video to have the low res clip of Sonic because it's like whatever, it's a YouTube video, who cares? But if you're buying a physical, or in this case digital copy of the book, I don't know, it feels a little bit cheap, but whatever. So it's the shot of the Sonic logo and Sonic popping up, then the shot of Lois at the piano. This is also low res. Shot of Lois. I feel like it's not as low res in the video, is it?
Let's see.
I feel like something happened.
No, it
like,
is pretty low res in the
it
video.
is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it works. Shot of Lois at the piano,
least
then
I
shot
think
of
so.
Lois
Oh, yeah.
and Peter at the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Shot of a few Dragon Ball characters. They have to fit all these into like two shots. This feels especially like also weird to be like republishing. Is this in the?
Oh yeah.
This is
Yeah.
in the full physical copy
Yeah.
too. The shots are just like, interesting, and it's in the same dimensions as well.
Yeah.
So it's
But
a
they
shot
are
of like
cleaned
a
up a
few
little
Dragon
bit,
Ball
I think.
characters. I don't know. Yamcha.
I don't know. I couldn't. Just
Hang
Dragon,
on, I think-
Dragon Ball 1 through 5.
Yeah. Yamcha. I think. Well, actually, it might not be Yamcha. I think it's Yamcha. Wait, I gotta look up Yamcha again. How many times can I say Yamcha? It is Yamcha.
Yamcha,
Because the
Abby
scar.
Noah.
Yamcha, and I think Goku's wife, and that maybe that's Gohan, and then there's a little floating cat, and then fuck, what is the pig's name?
I don't know.
Dragon Ball pig. Oolong, of course, Oolong.
Dragon Ball Pig. That's a spin-off I'd watch.
Dragon Ball pig. It's not even about Oolong. It's just
Yeah,
about
no.
a little pig.
It was on.
So it's the shot of them looking around behind them, and then it's a shot of Goku standing there, I guess, and they're
He's
everyone's
returned.
turned around. They got some luggage and shit. I don't know. Next 2 pages: Mickey and Minnie at a water fountain, and Minnie
Mm-hmm.
sprays Mickey. Okay, those are 2 pages. Gina from Porco Rosso, yeah, looking at a plane passing and getting blown by the wind.
Mhm.
That's 2 pages. Samus from Metroid in the suit, pointing a gun, and then shooting a gun at Ripley the dragon. Believe it or not.
The omnibus has these not as cropped in. It's more of a you can get more of a wide shot of the Samus panels at least.
Are they different screenshots?
Um,
I assume it's at least a little bit different because they couldn't get the exact same
yeah,
still.
I think it is a little bit different. Yeah,
But
I
is it
think a
meant
lot
to
of-
be like? Is it meant to be the
yeah,
same
it's
shot?
meant to
at
be the
least?
same. They're the same shots. I think they
Okay.
for this they've re-gone to a lot of the sources for these to
Right,
like
that's
take
what I
new
figured.
screenshots. Yeah.
Next 2 pages, the Space Jam Coliseum, and
Mhm.
then Bugs.
Space Jam
Entrance
Coliseum.
In
That's
the
a
Space Jam
that's a place I
Coliseum.
wish existed real life. That's a
Space Jam Coliseum.
yeah. Imagine it's like,
We
oh, I'm gonna go,
Coliseum.
seeing a game at the Space Jam Coliseum. That would be great.
The Space Jam Coliseum. That's how they introduce
Yeah.
the games.
And then Bugs Bunny would come up through the thing, and yeah.
Yeah, and they'd say, "And there's Bugs Bunny." Then the shot of Mr. Fleischer's door. So we're out of those.
With the
Clips,
the
whatever.
crucifix thing that I
Sure,
pointed out.
Mr. Fleischer, CEO of Fleischer Studios. Shot
I
of that
only
door.
pointed it out because
Then the
that's how
shot
it's
of the
cropped
interior
in
of the
this.
office, which is sort of letterboxed. It's not like. Did they fill out this drawing at all in the physical?
In the
Copy,
omnibus,
it's
you mean?
still
no,
cropped
it's
like
not.
that.
It's still cropped.
Okay, so it is letterboxed like that
Mm-hmm.
still. We're not going to go into detail here, but it's the shot of Mr. Fleischer's office. Mr. Fleischer's at the computer. Then a shot of the email, the Gmail screenshot.
Wait a second.
How does that look in the look?
No, I'm going to point something out here on your PDF. Is this the only bit of color that's ever been in one of these? The insides.
Oh
of
my
one-
god, it is in color.
It's not in color in my version. It's not in color in the omnibus.
because it's actually printed. But yeah, this for some reason, everything is in black and white, including the like screenshots of like Space Jam and shit. But then the screenshot of the Gmail like UI whatever.
This is the
but
only
that's
thing
edited.
in color in the whole of book 4.
Is it
Or like
in color in the video? I assume it would be. Yeah, it must be in color
Yeah,
in the
it is in
video.
color.
But yeah, it's not even like it mostly could be in black and white. I think maybe the little overlay the tabs in Gmail are maybe like a little bit of a tinge of blue, but it's mostly like just all grayscale, except for the send button is bright blue, which is so weird. That's the one page it just has any color besides the cover. And if you got the printed version, I doubt this would be in color.
Mhm.
If you got the zine. And then the second part of these 2 pages is someone knocking on the door, Mr. Fleischer's office. Next 2 pages, Mr. Fleischer looking over at the door. Someone handing them a letter says to Betty Boop's dad. Next 2 pages, Mr. Fleischer undoing the letter. Shot of the letter, which is from Alec, reading everything, yada yada. We've read it. And then what the okay. Next two pages are
There's a difference
like-
in the book alert, omnibus alert. Between the paper reading.
Whoa,
you
wait.
wanna-
I gotta say how it looks in the.
Well, there's a
It's-
page in between this one and the.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
There is a shot of Mr. Fleischer looking confused at the letter with question marks above his head, in between this and the paper. Yeah,
They got a
he was running out of pages.
that was in the video too.
That is
right?
in the video. Yeah.
Yeah. They Q what is it called? Q group. What is it? Focus group. You gotta
get
focus
rid
group
of
test
him.
it.
Get it.
we gotta know. Are they confused about the letter? I don't understand.
Whoop.
Did they think this was a totally normal letter to get?
Normal. Is what he said.
Yeah, I need a shot of them at like they're either questioning it or they're saying, "Huh, this is normal." I need one of those two, otherwise I don't get it. This page is a bunch of overlaid stuff from previous pages we've seen, including stuff that was not shown in the book yet, but was in the finale video, like the little Betty angels. Alec on the ground, Betty, close up of Betty T-posing where the arms are cut off, but they're cropped in a way that it doesn't just have no arms. Hands holding the letter, which are not cropped in a way where they're, or which are not like formatted in a way where they're not like cropped. They are cropped, and they're not like. You see what I'm trying to say here? Like they're cut off.
Oh,
they're cut off. See,
sure.
Because on the page that they're on, they're in the corner, but here they're just like centered a little bit more, so they're just kind of cut off on the edges. And the letter is overlaid twice, and there's also the shot of Alec crying, looking at real life Alec crying, whatever. But not a photo, but you know what I mean.
Mr. Boo.
That's one of two pages, and the next page is a TV static from when it cuts to the strip club interview.
Mm-hmm. Not in
now,
the
last
omnibus.
last time they, huh?
Not in
that's
the
not-
omnibus. No.
Oh, interesting. Well, last
They're
time
cutting content.
last time there was a strip club interview, which was just like, oh, this was the thing that happened. They don't show it at all, so I'm not sure how it's going to be here. Right now, we just see the TV static, which makes me think it's going to that. So the next page is a TV shot. It's a picture of a TV with black bars around it. It's sort of letterboxed, but not really. It's not centered. The black bars are not equal. And it's an old-timey television set. And it's also like, you can see that like whatever was on the TV was like painted out, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and then it's the strip club video underneath where it says Alec Robbins, inventor of Mr. Rube. This is the finale clip.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse shot of what's their face? Guy Smiley.
You can really see when these are
What is
physical.
their name?
I don't know. When it's physical, you
It's
can
Guy
really see
something, right? I think it's Guy something.
You can really see them looking in each other's eyes in the physical version.
Sort of.
Well,
in the physical version?
you're not holding it.
Yes, I am. It's right here.
Oh yeah, that's true. Another thing I've only just
it's not
noticed
Homestuck.
in the zine versions, the pages are all square, but here they're a little more like rectangular. So there is a little bit of a formatting difference, but not. Most of the pages translate pretty directly.
Are you sure that's not? Are you sure that's not an illusion?
Oh.
Next two pages. Shot of Alec is still on the TV. Shot of Alec standing up on the strip club set. Shot of Alec standing in sort of like in the middle, but off center a little bit as they were. And also, the TV overlay is gone. No, the TV overlay is like slowly like fading out, which is interesting because this is added for the book, and it's like slowly fading out over those two panels, over those two pages. I mean. Next page is the. This is interesting that they chose to put this in because this was like one frame in the finale with like a naked Alex sitting in the chair.
That is not in the omnibus.
Oh,
Yeah, the naked lady.
it's Alec.
Oh, the naked Alec. He's got a feminine.
It's also
body.
they chose it's overlaid over the previous page, which is what like they have that page and then overlaid is like this other shot of the Alex sitting in the chair, and the host is also like overlaid with another shot of them as well from that. So they both look like ghosts in the room. That is one of two pages, and then the next page is Alec is gone completely, and the host is just there alone in the room. And then the final that I think that's the final page of the book, and then there's just the back cover, which is yellow as the cover was, or as the side of the cover was, and it's the same shot of Alec from the thumbnail of the finale and the inside cover of the book, but now not colored in red, like the. So on the art on the cover, it was like the white of the paper was replaced with red. Here, it's like the black lines and gray shading is replaced with red and shades of red, but like that same color red.
I want to quickly point out that the in the omnibus, him fading out is spread across 3 panels instead of just being one. Of him just faded out.
And is it panels or pages?
Pages.
Interesting. Yeah. Also, it says published by the Teenagers Company, February 2021.
Then there's
1 month.
3
1 month
full pages
after
of black
the finale aired
on the omnibus.
3
full pages of black on the omnibus after he disappears.
After the final thing, and then is there anything after that? Any guest strips or anything?
There is a credits for all of the previous guest strips. Is there?
Right.
And then a word about the author.
Oh,
which we could.
Is it something from one of the previous volumes?
I don't.
It's interesting. There's nothing about the author at the end of this at all.
I figure if you've got the on the zine, you already know what his deal is.
Well, yeah, but there is in the last 3 copies is all. I think the reason there's not guest strips in this, besides this being the last volume,
no one would touch him after this.
They were like, continuing at all, is the fact that a lot of the pages are taken up by stills. Almost half the book, over half the book, is taken up with stills of the finale, which is interesting. And
also to have, I feel like having guest strips there would hurt.
I said that.
You know, I know. I don't know. I think that's.
I'm saying it too.
I'm also saying it. Well, can't we both say things? This is a podcast, isn't it? This is a podcast, no?
That was the volume 4, and we've said some differences between that and the omnibus, but we're gonna look at the lone pages of the omnibus now. Probably not from anything from the. I mean, you've said the differences between how it's like laid out in the finale. Is there anything else you want to add about that?
Not particularly. Nothing much.
Okay, well now we're gonna look at the cover and the foreword and stuff.
Okay.
So the cover for the Mr. Boop omnibus. It's not from the Teenager Company. I don't know, maybe it's credits that a little, I don't know. That's just Alex's company, right?
Alex's publishing house.
Alex?
Yeah. I believe Alec owns it.
Who's Alex? Who's Alec Robbins?
Who is Alex Robbins? Why did we pick like months after that strip came up to make that a recurring bit?
What strip? So the side, the side, what is it called? The binding What the fuck are you called?
I
The
don't know,
binding.
It's a
The
felt
binding of
texture.
Boopzik.
That is.
The you know
Mm-hmm.
the spine.
Yeah, the spine.
The
It's
spine.
a different texture from the rest of the book. It's like
Yes,
felt.
it's like fabricy.
Yes.
Honestly, let's just talk about the spine first.
Ooh.
The spine has got like
We're
a
picking this off our
metallic.
shelf, by the way. This is with gazing upon it from our shelf.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we take it off the shelf.
Yeah.
That's why we can tell that the spine.
Yeah, we're looking at the spine first.
Says Alec Robbins, and then a little.
Dash. Basically.
What are they called?
Uh,
What are those lines called in text?
a dash.
Dash?
Vertical
No.
bar.
Vertical. No.
It's a. Okay.
Vertical dash name. Oh, it is. Oh, it is just called a vertical bar. I thought I had a more specific name. Pipe symbol, upright slash, whatever. And then Mr. Boop, the big Mr. Boop logo, official.
Mm-hmm.
This is all in a metallic-y like text.
Yeah.
And then the silver
Silver.
sprocket logo with a little goat.
It's
My
like
head
a silvery, reflective sort of thing.
Yeah, metallic and reflective.
Yeah.
That's what it's like on the side, and then on the cover,
Did you mention what the silver sprocket logo is? It's a goat tagged.
I did.
Oh yeah.
You think you think I'm fucking stupid?
I don't know. I'm gazing upon this beautiful,
So am I. We're both gazing at the same copy.
the same beautiful copy.
Oh wait, I didn't even realize we're in the same room. Hey, Lisa.
Yeah, you're in the. Hi.
Took us a long time to realize that.
Yeah,
Or maybe you knew. I didn't realize.
I could tell. I mean, it's weird that
I was
you're
so
meant to,
distracted by our
It's weird
descriptions
that the
of
sound
Mr.
the rooms
Boop.
we're in are so different, though.
That's because I have a better microphone.
Oh, right. Can I use yours?
No.
Okay.
If we both use the same microphone, we both sound worse.
Oh, okay.
Because we'd have to be further away from it.
Okay.
That's how that works, I think. So the cover for the cover art for this copy of Mr. Boop, next to the spine, which the spine's on the cover a little bit, and then they've got this art, this beautiful art, the painting of I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is from the same person who did the cover for Volume 2. Is that correct?
Yes, Remy Boydell. Which is interesting. Because that artwork is also the postcard, right?
Yes, there's a postcard that comes with the book,
Mm.
which is
It's inside the first page, so we haven't seen it yet. We haven't opened.
Well,
this book
no,
yet.
whatever. It comes with the book. It's not in the book, so it's just there's also a postcard, whatever, that comes with.
But it's inside the front page.
It's the cover of the Volume 2 zine without any text on it. I'm not going to describe what that is. You can go back to the other bonus episode, being Mr. Book Volume 2. And the painting for this one, well, first of all, big red Mr. Boop logo. And above that is a quote that says, "One of my favorite things. I will read this over and over." From Tim Robinson, I think you should leave.
Loves it.
And then at the bottom, in similar font to the logo, but not the exact same font, it says Alec Robbins, which is the author. And then in the bottom right corner, it's in black text, which I think the same font as the author text, says 18 plus adults only.
I think that the top.
How old are you, Lisa?
Oh,
Maybe you don't want to say on air, but
I can say on air.
okay. How old are you?
I was born on March 8th, 2001.
I was born in 1906.
And my mother's maiden name
is Boop.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
You changed it to a D.
Yeah. Well, I didn't change it. That was what the father was my father's.
Oh, your father was
Yeah,
Dupe.
there was a boot. The Boops married into the Dupes. It's
So after Alec divorced Betty,
yeah.
Betty married Dupe.
This is a very beautiful illustration. I like it a lot. We've got Alec on the right, smoking. He's holding his cigarette to his
Smoking a
mouth.
pancake.
He's looking
No, it's a
over
cigarette.
a little, over a little, you know,
Alex in the
nonchalantly,
background.
enigmatically.
Surrounded by smoke because they're smoking a cigarette, which we've never seen them do before, but
No.
it's like noir-y.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
I
then
wonder.
we see Betty in the foreground as like a femme fatale sort of pose. Not
this
really.
like made it into.
Just looks kind of nonchalant.
This like made it into bookstores, right? I can't imagine this like someone.
It did?
Yeah, it's in bookstores where I live.
Oh, you bought this locally?
No, I didn't.
Or you just saw
But
it in a bookstore?
I
after
saw
you
it in the
bought
bookstore. I bought it from Silver Sprocket, and then I realized that like the biggest books retailer in the UK had a copy. And I was like, oh, I guess I spent extra on shipping for nothing.
Mm.
Well,
and you bought Sophia a copy too, right?
Yeah, I bought 2 from Silver Sprocket.
Was that?
Mm.
Oh, okay. So
No.
that was also online.
Yeah.
Betty has thick gold hoop earring on one ear that we see. We don't see the ear, but we see it behind their head, and we also see the thick gold bracelet.
What I was saying was, let's imagine like being someone who is responsible for Betty Boop, just seeing this and like, what?
What
How
you
did
mean? Like
this-
you mean like being Mr. Boop?
Yeah, like being like someone who is like a Fleischer Studios person just saw this in a bookstore.
Oh
and was
yeah,
like, what
they're in a
the-
bookstore one day, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
How did this?
And then they just open to a random page, and it says CEO of Fleischer.
Yeah,
it says
what the fuck?
Mr. Fleischer, CEO of Fleischer Studios. Are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is this? Uh-oh.
We're in trouble. Reminds
Yeah,
me of
it's like an
how-
intern. They're like, you know what? Just puts it back in the shelf. I don't want to deal with this.
Reminds me of how on the booklet for Godwin Sayden, on the lyrics for "Let Me Lick Your Pussy," it just says, "Uh-oh, Wiener in trouble, guys," because the lyrics for that are all from Prince songs.
I didn't know that. Send Wayne your credit card. Parents' credit card information.
Help them
Um,
get out of this Prince.
Yeah, I
list.
really do like the paint work on this. I think even better than the Volume 2 cover.
Nice. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah,
Nice
pretty.
to
I don't
have
really know how to
visit.
describe it in more detail, but it's like
No.
very meticulously.
Well
like-
painted, you know. The
Yeah,
brushworks
yeah.
are excellent. Brushworks
Yeah.
is
Oh,
excellent.
Alec is wearing like a button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled up and a tie, which is not what they usually wear. So that's a difference. And Betty is wearing a red dress, which I don't know if that's could be what they normally wear. It's in black and white, so
Yeah.
it's impossible to tell.
Impossible.
Usually in black and white. And their lipstick is like dark red, almost black. Pretty much just black, but you can tell there's a tinge of red in there.
Bit of red. It's like the Joker's hair, where it's got a little bit of green, but it's mostly black.
I think the Joker's hair is more green than that.
Depends on the artist, I suppose.
Depends on the Joker.
Yeah, depends on who's joking. It's Batman's famous catchphrase. Who's joking?
Hey, who's joking over here?
Ooh,
It's me, Batman.
Ooh, it's the jokester.
Inside cover, before we get to any actual pages, like the I don't even know, it's because it's like a hardcover, you know, so there's like the code, there's like the protection pages.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Know what I mean?
It's the
The
arms
it's-
of his godwife or whatever.
Yeah,
the
it's like
quote.
the little angel Bettys.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Gettys. It's a pattern of them
Yeah.
along on a red paper
Did we read the
page.
back? Did we see?
Huh?
Or did we read
What, the back of the
page?
book?
Yeah.
That'll be last. I
What?
assume.
You don't even look
What?
at the book. You meant to read that first after you've seen
The back of the book? Why would we
Yeah.
read that first?
Because it's a blurb. It's meant to, when you're in the store, you pick it up and you look at the back and you're like, oh, I see. It
don't
tells
even-
you what the book
Did
is.
I open the back? I don't think I opened. Hang on, let me see the
It
back.
tells you what.
No, we're not. Why would no? Because
Because
when
it's telling you what the book is.
Here's how I read a book,
don't- you-
okay?
Here's how I read a book. I look at the spine. I look at the cover. Then I open it. I look at the inside cover.
Then
I look at
the
each
back.
page sequentially,
No.
and then I look at the outside cover. And then I look at the back of the book, and that's the end of the book.
Well, yeah, the end of the book isn't. The back cover isn't meant to be the end. That's what you.
Sure, it is. It's on the back.
No, it's meant to. It's an advertising tool. It's so that you look
We're gonna
at it.
spend
and know
30
what-
more minutes arguing about
It's so that
this.
you look at it and you know what the book is before you read it. That's what it's there for.
Did you do that when you bought this book?
Well, I know what Mr. Boop is.
Ah, exactly.
But if I
exactly.
didn't, I would have looked at. But that's what the blurb is for. That's the purpose.
We're savvy. We know what Mr. Boop is.
I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense to read the blurb at the end. I don't know
Why not?
because you already know. You've read the book. You
We
know
need
what
it.
the
We need a
blurb is.
tiebreaker here. We need an impartial judge.
We get Sophia. For whom it is
Sophia,
1
get in
a.m.
here.
For whom? No, it's
Sophia's probably asleep.
Yeah, because it's 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I'll ask Jenny.
Okay.
Jenny, should we read the blurb of Mr. Boop, physical edition?
No, not the. Don't say blurb.
It's the blurb. What else is
Say
it?
the back. Should we
It's
read
not
the
the-
back cover at the end, or should we read it right after the front cover?
Yeah, but what's on the back cover? Back cover. Other than
It doesn't
the blurb?
matter. It's the back cover. That's
Okay.
the end.
The back. It's not the end.
Whatever.
No,
it's the end of the book. It's at the end of the book.
It's not at the
It's
end
at the
of the
physical.
book.
No, it's at the physical end of the book. Whether you think it's the last thing we should read or not, it's at the physical end of the book.
No.
Physically, it is. Unless you read it backwards, then it's at the front.
Should we read the back of the Mr. Boop physical edition before or after the insides? Now we wait.
Sure.
Why it doesn't make any sense to read it.
There was a little Mr. Boop. There was a little Mr. Boop. I forgot we actually had that as a tagline. A comic star. He thought he'd oop. And then the Betty was Getty and Alec was all make believe. It was a little Mr. Boop. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
It doesn't.
I'm aside from Bugs Bunny.
It doesn't make any sense. Is all I'm
What?
saying. It doesn't make any sense to read it.
I
At the
don't give
end.
a fuck.
Why would you do it that way?
I don't give a fuck what you say. Let me open up to a random Homestuck page here.
Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo, boo-doo, boo.
Our third character is introduced with our first true Psych out, the previous panel with Rose Blink's Psych, and suddenly here we are. This is a first and very modest taste of a highly unpredictable narrative train of thought that gets far more volatile as the story progresses and complicates. It's exaggerated further by the non-linearity of events. Later we hop around not only between points of view, but also different time frames. This runs the full gamut from standard flashbacks to just revealing certain story events in anachronic order. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't understand any of that shit.
Wow. Doesn't make any sense.
Don't care.
Doesn't make
Didn't
any
ask.
sense. Why would you do it that way? It doesn't.
Because it's at the back.
It's
It's at the physical back.
That doesn't mean
When you read a
That's-
book, going
When
through
you
and
read
then
a book,
close it. Oh, look what it's there. It's the back.
No, but when you read the book, you don't read the blurb afterwards. It's just selling you the book you've just read.
You're not reading the blurb. You don't read it at all.
I think
Who
that's what
fucking
you-
reads the
You
blurb?
read the blurb when you're picking up the book in the bookstore.
I never read
It's
a
for the-
blurb.
It's for the bookstore. We're thankful it's not just a review, and instead it's like just 2 quotes or whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's nothing on our back to just read it now, you know.
This is the order we covered every other Mr. Boop
That's 'cause
volume
we had
in.
PDFs of those. This is
Well, because there wasn't blurbs on those. It's still a back cover.
the fact that
It's got a back cover design.
Adds something to talk about.
What else would we end on?
I don't know.
The stickers?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean,
What?
there is a. I don't know. Any page is fine to end on, really.
So then we end on the back cover.
No, not that one, because that one's meant to be.
What do you mean it's not meant to be anything? It's just a back cover.
Yeah, it's meant to be read in the store, but it's, you know. Doesn't make any
I
sense.
think it's all just formal at this point to have that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but its purpose is to, you know, is not to be read at the end. That's not what it's.
Who cares?
Why aren't we following what it's for?
Huh?
I don't understand why we're not following why they put it there.
We're not in the store buying it. Like
That's we did everything else in the order of we took it out from us.
we did it in the order of when it's in the book. That's the order we did it in.
Jerry said before.
I don't want a second opinion. Fine, whatever. Fuck it. What are we at? Is that where we are now?
Yeah. Otherwise, we wouldn't have stopped. We would have.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even. Where is it? I don't even know. I don't have it.
Presumably, you put it at the end.
I thought I opened it already. I don't. Okay. You describe it then.
Okay.
Fuck it.
What we've got here, we've got a gray background.
I don't know where we're ending on now. Go, just go.
And at the top of it, we've got a quote from Ryan North of Dinosaur Comics, who says,
Ooh.
"Mr. Boop is."
Oh, I thought it was gonna be me.
You can read it.
I thought they were gonna. I mean, this was published after we started the podcast.
Yeah, Ryan.
I thought it'd be a quote like,
I hate
"I'm not
this."
comfortable being any part of this." Ryan Pfeiffer being Mr. Boop.
It says, "Mr. Boop is everything I've always wanted comics to be: funny, innovative, and also non-fiction."
Inventive.
Inventive. Yeah, that's not what that looks like to me.
Inventive.
No, I said innovative.
Innovative? Is that what you thought it was?
Innovative.
It's inventive.
Okay, and also non-fiction.
It's invented. Invented isn't a word. Yeah, I just invented it. You just got served. Okay,
And
go on.
also non-fiction about being married to Betty Boop. Alec is truly living the dream. Bracket. That means his life is great. Not that any of this didn't happen. Double electro point. Bracket. Quote. Below that,
Ryan North,
Yes.
Dinosaur Comics.
Below that, we've got some dashes. 3 rows of dashes.
Slashes.
Yeah, 3 rows of slashes.
Sort of like half slash, half dashes.
Yeah.
Because they're extra italicized.
And then we've
And
got
then
Alec Robbins written in a
big white sort of like news font text. Alec Robbins is deeply in love with his wife, 1930s cartoon superstar Betty Boop.
yeah, so
They give it like a
believe
30s
that's-
newscast.
I believe that is actually I think.
Huh?
I think that might be Times New Roman,
No, that's
No?
not Times New Roman.
but slanted, you know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right.
And there's
The
the
E's different, right.
all 4 panels from the first strip are on the back here, but they're not
the rearranged
printed
them.
like the 4-panel strip. They're printed like there's one. The first panel is right there at the top next to the Alec Robbins is deeply in love with his wife, 1930s cartoon superstar Betty Boop. And then there's another row of slashes slash dashes,
Slash
and then
dashes
some more
and dashes.
text, and then the other 3 panels printed like a Garfield strip.
You know what they are? There is a row of slashes and dashes, but they do kind of passes for. No, I don't know. For hashes. They do. They kind of.
The fuck are you saying?
There
is a row of slashes and dashes, but they do passes for dashes.
Do passes for hashes, as in hashes.
They do passes for hashes, right? Of course.
Below that we have the blurb, which reads, Who
wouldn't be overwhelmed at the sheer luck and joy of being wed to such a beautiful, absolutely real fictional woman? Electoral Heart. His only worry is potentially losing her. Death or divorce, the result would be the same. Utter heartbreak and spiritual annihilation. Yet Betty's father, in the threat of intellectual property law, may just spell the lovebird's undoing. It's weird that feels like that's like the ultimate threat of the book, even though that's just like in one volume. But they do mention death or divorce, which is the first 2 volumes. Exactly. But it feels like they put more of an emphasis on the...
I feel like this gives you a good impression of the strip, if you're picking it up.
Sure.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, this is...
It's like, it makes you think, what the fuck is this about?
But it also showcases...
Which is a good impression to make.
It showcases a bit more depth than you might consider, than just say,
he's married to Betty Boop, and then it's like...
But divorce, perhaps.
Yeah, death or divorce, the result would be the same. What? What? And yeah, then there's the other 3 panels of the first strip. We don't need to go over them again. Let's
read out our barcode. The barcode reads
9781945 509803, and then there's another tiny barcode above that. It says 53999. So
now above the barcode,
if you go up to the bookstore and read that out, you'll be handed a copy of the book.
They got them in the back
for free. Maybe I assume if you memorize the barcode, they give you the book for free.
I don't know. And above that,
that's how it should work.
It reads, absurdist humor, a middle finger to corporate IP, and a sweetly romantic heart blend together into one of the most inventive Twitter age. I don't know why I've never seen the word inventive before today. I've never seen it written down before. I don't. Anyway, and then the price is $39.99.
Comics of the Twitter age. You didn't finish the...
I did. I read the...
No, you didn't.
I'm pretty sure I did.
You stopped at inventive.
No, I read it after.
You absolutely did.
No, I read.
Play the tape back.
You play it back. Absurdist humor, a middle finger to corporate IP, and a sweetly romantic heart blend together into one of the most inventive comics of all time. Twitter age. I don't know why I've never seen the word inventive before today. I've never seen it written down before. I don't. Anyway, and then the price is $39.99.
There you see, I told you.
No, I didn't do it. No, that was... no.
Yeah, price $39.99 US. Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was an expensive book, and I got it imported, baby.
Let me see how much the... Holy crap! This Homestuck volume is only $24.99.
Well, people don't really care about Homestuck.
I don't know. Maybe it's because this is an indie comics publisher. They need to. It costs more for them to do stuff, so they have to. The book when it costs more. I don't know. We don't need to talk about the price, but like I'm just comparing. Do you think there's more pages? How many pages are in it?
I don't know. A lot, but there's no page counter. Page number.
There's no page counter in the physical copy?
No.
There's 438 pages in this Homestuck book.
You're trusting the Homestuck book to tell you that, though. So.
What do you mean?
You're just saying that because that's what it says on the Homestuck book.
Well, I could also look and see if they don't like skip a page number or list it twice.
Why don't you do that?
Okay, I will. You continue.
Okay. And that's the blurb. Now we look inside and we see this beautiful Getty collage pattern that we've already described. Flip through. Mr. Boop by Alec Robbins, the same logo that's appeared throughout the what's it called? Other ones. The zines.
Where is this?
Front page.
Front page. What? The front cover? Where are we? Did you say the silver? Did you talk about the Silver Sprocket logo on the back? Hello?
Not the front page. No, the what's it called?
Where'd you go?
I just left.
Well, okay.
I'm tired of.
Did you talk about the Silver Sprocket
fighting.
logo on the back?
Yeah, of course. Of course I did.
Where it says all cops are bastards and everything?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. I don't. Oh, did you talk about the inside cover then, where it says, "I would like to acknowledge the following people for their support and contributions"?
I was about.
Well,
to
you were on the
describe
other page.
that. Was I?
You said it says Mr. Boop. Which
Yeah,
is the
right
page
before
after.
then. It says that.
No,
Oh,
after.
did I not? I guess I didn't take a photo of that for you. But it does.
What?
There's a page
Oh.
before that. It's just the Mr. Boop.
Oh,
logo
where it just says Mr. Boop
Yeah.
and nothing else.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Okay.
by Alec Robbins.
Ah. Oh, I see.
Anyway, it says in bold.
Huh.
I would like to acknowledge the following people for their support and contributions to this book.
Well, let's alternate. You go first.
Casey Nowak,
Jonathan Brock.
Remy Boydell,
All of the amazing guest artists.
Max Fleischer,
Mark Fleischer.
Mark Fleischer's lawyers,
Avi Ehrlich.
Karina Taylor,
Sure. Ari Yarwood.
and
Of course.
3, 2, 1, Betty Boop.
Betty Boop. Okay. Whoa, we both did it at the same time. Who could have known that? Okay.
Cover art by
Remy Boydell.
Silver Sprocket website. Published
Silver Sprocket, www.silversprocket.net. Avi Ehrlich, publisher. Josh PM, general manager. Ari Yarwood, managing editor. Karina Taylor, production designer. Simon Jane Crowbrock, shop goblin. Daniel Zhao, shop rat. Raul Herrera Cortez, big head bandit. I feel like fucking Tim Heidecker on Cinemath.
Why don't you do your Don Pardo impression?
Yasmina Bedell Dilfard, shop shroom. Sarah Maloney, shop cat. Soul Syndron,
And
food
musical
bag.
guest.
Musical guest. Silver Sprocket rules okay.
And it's
There's
the
a little
logo
there.
Copyright 2022, Alec Robbins, blah, blah, blah. First printing May
Not blah blah
2022.
blah. All rights reserved. ISBN 9781945509803. First printing May 2022. Published by Silver Sprocket. 1018 Valencia Street, San Francisco, California, 94110, USA. This book or any portion thereof, I'm not even doing that Pardo anymore, therefore may not be reproduced or used in any manner whatsoever without the express written permission of the author or publisher, except for small portions for review or educational purposes. Printed in China. Wow, it's printed in China. What's the next page? Where are you? Lisa, come back to us. Okay, Lisa is gone. The next page just says the Mr. Boop logo, the classic one. And it's got a little cutout of Alec from panel 1 of Strip 1 there with the little heart flies above them. And that's cool.
Yeah, what do you
Underneath-
think? Do you think that Mark?
Shut up. Underneath it says Deluxe Edition, collecting volumes 1 to 4 by Alec Robbins.
Do you think that the
What?
thanking of the Fleischers is any relevance?
I think they're just being a little funny.
Really? I don't know. I feel like perhaps the fact that this exists at all might be due to some cooperation with the Fleischer family.
I don't think so.
I wonder.
No.
I'll ask.
It says Max Fleischer's lawyers. Oh yeah, okay, you can ask. Yeah. All right, next page. It starts right into the.
There's a
forward
black
after
page
this.
between this, a blank page,
Okay.
and then
Blank page or black page?
blank page,
Blank page or black page?
blank page.
Blank page. Okay. and then the forward.
Yes. Free.
Okay.
Free sex, free beers, free speech,
No. Singular beer.
free
Well,
sex,
not
free
necessarily
beer,
singular, but
free beer.
not beers as in like it's free beer is what it says.
Free sex, free beer, free speech. Mr. Boop and the Problem of Desire by F. Stuart Taylor.
Originally published in Saul Rad, March 2021, edited by Alex Hoffman and Daniel Elkin. So this is an article from Saul Rad, which they decided to put as the forward here.
Yeah.
I don't think it was written for this.
No,
right?
it wasn't. This would have been.
This is just like
yeah.
an article someone decided to write about it.
Yeah.
And
And
there's other articles on Saul Rad
about
Mr.
Mr.
Boop.
Boop, yeah.
What's not to like, Mr. Boop and me. Have you read these?
I've only read the forward.
Oh, does that mean I should read it then?
I mean, I don't know. If you want to.
We can alternate pages or paragraphs. We'll alternate
Okay.
paragraphs. Lies more accurate than truth. Mr. Boop and the cartoon crossover.
Mhm.
I guess I'll read these.
I mean,
At
if you want
some
to.
point.
I don't know. You don't like articles, though, so. You
No, I don't. But I like forwards. I guess.
I don't
No,
know,
not
right?
really.
No,
I don't.
I don't-
I'm not opposed to it.
I, you know. I like.
I'm not
like-
opposed to articles either.
Yeah, sure.
I just
sure.
don't. I think I probably find forwards. The
You'd prefer
concept
people
of
not.
reading-
You'd prefer people not write about things.
No,
Yeah.
I think the concept of a forward sounds less boring to me than the concept of an article. I don't know, articles aren't boring either, but
I just found out that I've been subscribed to the New York Times for like a year, and I didn't even notice. I was like, huh.
Oh, you know they're on strike right now.
Because I canceled my subscription. I'm like, get Lisa Doot back. Or not.
I guess it sounds a little misleading the way I put that. The New York Times is not on strike in itself. The employees are on strike.
Yeah,
They didn't shut down production because you canceled your subscription.
The
The employees left because you canceled your subscription.
they want it back.
Yeah.
Should we describe the
okay, I'll
stickers?
start.
We haven't described the stickers.
Oh
yet.
yeah.
They're
Before we get into
printed
the
in the
article, I
first
guess
page.
because we don't want to save that for last. So
And they're in the front
There's
page,
some
you
stickers that
can
came with them
version.
and a bookmark,
Yeah.
which is a Silver Sprocket bookmark. So we don't need to describe it. It's just a Silver Sprocket bookmark came with it with some little forest art on it. There's the stickers. There's one sticker with the classic like
Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure,
pose.
Sonic pose, but Sonic is looking anxious and sweating a little. And it says, "Why won't anyone have a threesome with me?"
Whoa!
Whoa! Totally rad to the max. What is that, Game Girl?
It's Sonic. That's what Sonic says.
Sonic says.
Don't smoke cigarettes.
Sonic says.
Come on. You can do it.
What?
You can think of something, he
You're
says.
too slow. Okay, no, I was trying to think of a Game Girl quote. Another one that wasn't
Anyway,
just like the lyrics.
Next one is the divorce lawyer in like a circle.
Wine
like a
cone.
yeah, like
Got a wine cone sticker in here.
and it says,
You know, I was considering dressing up as the divorce lawyer for Halloween
Mm-hmm.
next year,
no.
but I decided on Tootsie Roll Frankenstein instead from Problem Sleuth.
Anyway.
Have I said that already? Or did I just spoil my Halloween
I
costume?
don't know.
Well, I did either way, but
Yeah. So it says, and that he's inside a circle, like a badge thing. It says, and there's text all around the circle that says, divorce lawyer, divorce lawyer, divorce lawyer. With,
Div. The last one's cut off.
yeah, div.
Div. And there's stars between
Stars
each time
between
it says
them.
divorce lawyer. One star each.
I kind of like the.
One of the stars is like looking all fucked up.
Is this anything?
The
like,
one closest to their head.
That's
They
part
look
of the.
kinda-
That's part of the fun.
They look kind of nonplussed.
Mhm.
I like the I like the sticker of the divorce lawyer. I don't think I would want this sticker sheet because of one sticker in particular. But actually there's a few on here that well no just one in particular I think kind of maybe ruins it for me. But I do like the divorce lawyer sticker a lot. There's one here of just the Mr. Boop logo. That's fun. You could put that over someone else's comic. You could put that over the pipe strip.
Yeah.
Pretend that's a Mr. Boop strip.
Oh, imagine if that was a Mr. Boop strip.
Because it also says by Alec Robbins.
Oh, now where could my wife be?
Ha ha!
Betty!
Oh! High on pipe.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Toss them over here, man.
What's the next sticker?
Alec and Betty sweetly holding each other with a heart between them.
Yeah, arms
Nice.
arms around each other.
Arms like Kimbra.
Arms a couple.
Yeah. Then you got Bugs Bunny.
And they're blushing and Betty's sweating.
Mm-hmm.
Alec is not sweating.
Next.
And there's a single big heart fly above them between them. Yeah, the next one is just Bugs Bunny's head smiling awkwardly in that sort of Alec style where the mouth does not really line up with a bunny mouth well. It's just kind of like an open mouth
Mm-hmm.
pasted underneath a Bugs Bunny smirk. And there's text underneath that says, I hope Bugs Bunny isn't having sex with my wife.
It's true. He does hope.
What's the next one
sticker? Is Betty Boop in her
I'm going to cover my ears for this one.
Famous gimp suit.
Which won't work because I have earbuds on.
You could take the headphones out. She's in her famous gimp suit.
I don't know how to do that.
She's in her famous gimp suit. And she has a fort bubble above her. She's like, laying
A
sex.
fort bubble?
A fort bubble.
A fart bubble.
A fart bubble. That reads, Amazon should let Bugs Bunny
go
pee.
with a British accent, the words thought and fart sound the same.
Amazon should let Bugs Bunny pee.
That's what it says. It's locked. The suit is locked, by the way, at the mouth.
Yeah. Next one is Alec.
Next one is Alec
Yeah.
grinning wife face style very widely, and there's text above and below which says, I refuse to divorce my wife, Betty Boop.
Yes. Which is true. Yeah.
That's a well-known fact about
Mhm.
Mr. Boop
Uh-huh.
that we know well because we have been Mr. Boop. Yes. Okay, so now we move on to the foreword, which is what is it, Lisa? It was like an article first. Did we say this
Yes.
already? I don't remember. It was an
I don't
article.
Yes. Well, we will read the title and then it will tell you what the article.
Oh yeah,
that it's
free sex, free beer, free speech.
Mr. Boop and the Problem of Desire.
By F. Stuart Taylor. Originally published in Saul Rad, March 2021. Edited by Alex Hoffman and Daniel Elkin.
Now,
Wait, Daniel Elkin. Why does that sound familiar?
He scored Batman Forever. Batman Returns.
What?
He was in the band Oingo Boingo.
Right, of course.
I couldn't remember another film he scored. Batman Returns?
The Simpsons?
Oh, he did the Simpsons theme, yes.
Did Danny Elfman score the Simpsons movie?
No.
Should've.
That was probably well, what about the guy who did the rest of the show?
Nah.
He's pretty iconic.
Nah. Should have been Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm pretty sure he rearranged the Spider Pig theme for that movie.
Oh,
Danny
okay.
Elfman He did that bit.
All right, that's
But
pretty
I don't know,
cool.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Art
And
must
he probably
be free.
met Green Day.
What?
He probably met Green Day.
Danny Elfman?
Yeah, sure. Sounds like. Oh, Hans Zimmer scored the Simpsons movie.
What?
The fuck? Yeah.
Oh, do you know Hans Zimmer is scoring Mr. Beast's next video?
What the fuck? Hans Zimmer, he doesn't do shit. You know, he like outsources all of his scoring.
Hans Zimmer's a hack.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah.
I don't
he's
actually.
scoring
I
the
don't,
Simpsons
I don't know.
currently. Well, he's not scoring the Simpsons currently. The scoring studio he owns scores the
Oh, well,
Simpsons
that's
now.
probably what the article, the headline meant by Hans Zimmer is scoring Mr. Beast's next video or whatever.
Bleeding Fingers music.
It's still embarrassing though.
Oh, Hans. How
Oh,
far you
Hans.
fool.
I remember
Oh,
seeing. I remember
Han.
seeing a tweet that was like, "Hans Zimmer looks like someone that would call me a slur." It's like, all right,
Hans
that's a weird
Zimmer.
thing to say about someone,
Hans Zimmer,
whether it's true or not.
perhaps ruined film scoring? Let's discuss. Let's.
Okay, you first.
He has every score since he started doing film scores sounds like a Hans Zimmer score, and everyone's like, just do what he does. You know what I mean?
Their
Ever
Nolan
he's-
scores are all right.
Yeah, that's true. But everything, I don't, he just puts out so much. Honestly,
I
don't like
Is that Hans Zimmer?
film scorer. I want film scorers. Like Mark Mothersbaugh and Danny Elfman. I want to like their scores, right? But I just listen to them and I'm like, these aren't anything. They're bland and lame. I mean, the Danny Elfman early scores, you know, before he like started doing generic Hans Zimmer shit.
well, like Spider-Man.
No. The Spider-Man scores are good, but like as in like his score for 50 Shades of Grey, just completely forgettable.
Danny Elfman did that.
Yeah. Completely like I can't hum a single score he's done since I don't know. Spider-Man.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. His
That wasn't
scores
Danny
his
Elfman.
scores are nothing now. They should be going like
Yeah.
But now they're just like
Tim Burton shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. Oh, he
Da,
scored,
da, da.
his most recent film he scored was The Woman in the Window. No, he scored Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, that one was sort of.
Can you
Elfman-y.
I can remember the X-Men animated series theme, remember?
Oh my god. I remember.
Remember when that
I
was in the
remember.
movie? That was in the movie.
Is this Hans Zimmer? I
I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that from an Inception?
Maybe.
from a-
I don't know. I feel like it's yeah. I think it's probably Inception or something. It's like that. It's like that generic like trailer music that people would put in like YouTube videos around like 2010 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think that is Inception.
Probably.
Art must be free. Or so. Oh, that's how we got onto that with Danny.
No, it
Elfman.
wasn't. It wasn't actually. It was because Daniel Elkin sounds like Danny Elfman.
Yeah, Danny Elfman. That's what I said.
Art must be free, or so goes a familiar rallying cry. But free as in speech, or free as in beer? Beer. I don't drink. Only Alec Robbins dares to answer the call with. What does that mean? Free as in beer? Whatever. Only Alec Robbins dares to answer the call with both, and also free as in hot singles near you. More properly, Robbins' Mr. Boop sits at the intersection of a long tradition of challenges to intellectual property law and the kind of online perversity which invented Rule 34. If you can imagine it, there's porn of it. The plot of Mr. Boop is simple, and I don't know about if that's... This is a weird article. The plot of Mr. Boop is simple enough.
Well,
a man is
Robbins
married to
liked
Betty
it.
Boop, intellectual property of Fleischer Studios, and Smokin' Hot Babe. Yeah. Robbins toys with the formulae. What? Formulae?
Yeah.
Robbins toys with the formulae of internet wife guy. A species of cringing male sexuality recognizable for its virality in lieu of virility. And the indie journal comic. What? Indie journal... Meta wink and a nod video interludes of faux... Meta wink and a nod video interludes of faux interviews where Robbins plays Alec Robbins, the cartoonist behind Mr. Boop. Why is this article more confusing than the actual strip? Punctuate the strip in its Twitter incarnation. Alec Robbins, who in one such interlude stops a How to Draw Betty Boop demonstration to jerk off, pretends his infatuated avatar's nuptial nonsense presents his infatuated avatar's nuptial nonsense in a tightly repetitive 4-panel format. The strip is rife with such sitcom standards as having a threesome with Peter Griffin from Family Guy and getting shot by Sonic the Hedgehog with a sniper rifle because of sexual jealousy. This is I
It's
don't
also
understand.
important to note that Family Guy and Sonic are both trademarked.
Yes, trademark. What do you think about this so far? I feel like this is a weird article. I don't know why this is. This doesn't feel like a forward. Just like this is just like straight up, just an article someone wrote. This would be like if the script for Cheryl's video was the forward to the. Except Cheryl's video is good.
Oh, that's true.
I assume. I don't think I've
like
seen it still, but I assume it's good.
I like this article. I don't know. You said,
I'm not. Look. I'm only one paragraph in, but so
it's-
far it's difficult to understand what the hell they're trying to say. For me, I don't read a lot of articles. Maybe.
What do you think What do you think the difference between free speech versus free beer is?
I don't know. I don't know what they mean. I think they mean free as in like. So
As
free
in-
free
as in
speech
the ability
is
The ability to do anything. Right?
free
The
free
ability to
speech
move.
is freedom, whereas
Mhm.
free beer is
monetary.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a weird way to say that.
But also free hot singles near you, as
Which is
in
the
they've
same
got
thing.
time. Yeah,
That's the same thing as free beer. That's the
no,
same
that's
kind
not
of
the
free.
same thing as free
the
beer.
the only other type of free there would be is sugar free.
No, free beer, as in the hot singles, is in they're not doing anything right now.
Oh, I guess. Okay, I guess. Well,
Mm-hmm.
why would? How is that? How is Mr. Boop free? As in hot singles near you? Like, okay, I get it.
it's
Oh,
got
it's
hot
clever
singles
because it's like it's like the comic's all sexy, you know. But it's like, but the actual free being used in that case is like, yeah, I'm free, which has nothing to do with Mr. Like, how is Mr. Boop like, yeah, I'm free?
But how does it apply to art? Art must be free.
Yeah, how does it
Wow.
apply to art, and specifically the art of Mr. Boop? How does that free apply in that way?
Let's break this down. So free art must be free. As
We
in
have
speech
several more
is-
paragraphs to get through.
Art must be free, as in speech is saying that art must be free to do whatever it wants, right? Be not restricted. Art must be free, as in beer. Art must not cost anything, and art must be free, as in hot singles near you. So maybe like art must be free to be sexy, is also what it's saying.
But that's not what that free means. It doesn't mean free to be sexy. It means free as in like,
Free
yeah,
to
I've
hang
got
out.
time. Yeah, I'm available.
Art must be available.
Art must be available, but I don't know. And then I don't know. I assume everything else they're gonna elaborate more on. So let's just continue. You all right? You go.
I like the trademark on Sonic, but not the Hedgehog, which is the actual trademark section of that name.
Well, they're talking about the restaurant.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Sonic the Restaurant, the Hedgehog.
Yeah. So therein lies the rub, as it were. Robbins draws a range of characters, all trademarked by potentially or frequently litigious companies, engaging in a group sex with the Boops, attempting murder, escaping from prison, and so on. Except for a couple of fairly thoroughly cartoon paneled, including Mickey Mouse's erect penis, most of the sex is depicted glancingly, if depicted directly at all. Usually faces
Depicted-
sweating and
So you cannot look at it directly lest your eyes burn from your skull.
It's so beautiful.
You have to look at it
Um,
through a mirror,
Sweating and panting.
like Medusa.
Appear in panel with characters always clearly recognizable, with the panel border cutting off the specific. While the panel border cuts
We're
off
not
the
editing
specifics.
this. We're not editing the different takes. We this is too
Okay.
much work already.
As a result, the specifics of sex itself are mostly underplayed, for all that it constitutes a significant percentage of the text. This is a scandal, not an erotics. Visually, the slightly detached style of the strip emphasizes that yes, this is a joke, and eases the free play of different
Or is
corporate
it?
properties across the same register without disruption. Robin uses the original cartoon as a likeness, and then filters them through a style, which keeps characters instantly recognizable as corporate properties, while allowing them to play across different levels of media referentiality.
Well, also
Which become-
they're also recognizable as the Mr. Boop versions of the characters.
Exactly.
They don't
Which
say
become-
that though.
No. Which becomes useful as the story focuses more on the corporate lore angle, with the CEO of Fleischer as controlling father splitting up lovebirds.
It's not clear how planned that was from the beginning.
Perhaps punning lightly on the marriage license versus the license of trademarked intellectual property.
Well, what was I gonna say? Maybe I should make notes as we're going through here so I know what to talk about.
Broadly, this is trying to say that
I wanted to talk about how they said the repetitive 4-panel format earlier. I don't think it's really repetitive.
I don't think they're using repetitive in a negative connotation.
I'm not saying it is, but I think I don't find the comic repetitive. I think just having the same format all the time doesn't make it repetitive.
I think
maybe for some comic strips it does. I definitely don't
repeats.
think it does for Mr. Boop because it's a story-based comic strip.
I think you're still thinking about repetitive as an inherently negative thing they're saying. I don't think they're
As what?
saying it. I think that you're saying it is something that repeats. It's the format.
I think they're saying it as it's negative in an intentional ironic way. I don't know, maybe not. Robbins is playing in a familiar field here, as one thing you are practically guaranteed if you spend any length of time on Twitter is seeing a rendition of a cartoon character in a sexually compromising or promising, if you're so inclined, situation. I guess. Not really in the way that Mr. Boop is. I feel like that's more of, I don't know, more of a different...
I don't know.
The style of Mr. Boop isn't really as much a Twitter thing. I wouldn't think. I don't know.
What do you mean? The style of the way that characters are sexualized isn't similar to how the Twitter sexualizes characters?
It feels more like well, these are not sexualized things, but again, like how we've compared it to Tails Gets Trolled or things like that.
But it's not talking
fan
specifically
comics.
about the art style. It's or the way that it's, the way that it uses the crossover.
Well, but the
aspect.
art
It's
isn't
just talking about the fact that-
the art isn't good.
No, but it's not talking about the art, is it?
The art.
It's just talking about the fact that
it's
takes the
fun.
Twitter
It's a fun
sexualization.
art style. I'm not trying to say it's bad.
Yeah.
But in terms of
No, but
if it was Rule 34 art, it would not be. It feels more like Rule 34 art from DeviantArt or something than from Twitter. I'm not a fan of this conversation. Even that equivocation. What do I feel like there should be more syllables? Equivocation. Even that equivocation is suggestive. Part of the nature of Twitter is that as a networked platform where content created for one audience of the platform can go viral and reach another, the line between ironic and unironic Sonic the Hedgehog fetish art can be a bit hard to reach, and the same image can serve both functions alternately or simultaneously. Mr. Boop isn't okay. Mr. Boop is an intellectually and artistically ambitious comic which uses having sex with Betty Boop to think through intertextuality and copyright law, rather than a titillating comic about having sex with Betty Boop. But none of these examples, we must imagine, are desirable for the brands which hold the copyright for these IPs. Well,
Yeah.
Depends which brand you're asking. I mean, maybe these brands wouldn't like it, but KFC certainly would.
Yeah, they really. Well,
Maybe Esurance doesn't want
if they're doing
Esurance
it.
doesn't want their mascot sexualized, but Wendy's sure does, which is pretty disturbing considering it's
a child. On
a child, yeah.
Yeah.
But they sure encourage that on Twitter specifically. What were you saying?
I wasn't saying anything.
When are we ever? Many of these are probably covered by fair use exceptions to copyright, which protects comments on the work. This protection is how sites like SolRad can use excerpts from works for review purposes. What the hell is SolRad? I don't know what you're talking about. But also why parodies don't need to secure licensing rights. Critically, probable impact on the sale of the IP is one factor considered in fair use. So if Disney started selling its own Mickey Mouse fetish art, or if there was a risk that consumers would mistake unlicensed Mickey Mouse fan art for the real thing, the situation might change. What? What are they saying at the end there?
It's saying about how they don't really need to crack down on porn, I guess, because there's no way that someone would think that's real.
Oh.
Alright.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, unless it is real.
Well, sometimes it is because the Disney animators have like their own porn catalog,
and if
right?
if they started selling that, you know,
in the future they will.
Yeah.
In like the year 2055, Disney will have like the Disney Black collection, straight out of the Disney vault. The Disney straight out of the Disney chastity cage. All right, go on.
Okay. When the Air Pirates, a group of underground cartoonists helmed by Dan O'Neill, produced some obscene comic starring Mickey Mouse, unfair competition was one of the charges Disney pressed to preserve their trademark.
What? Didn't Nintendo buy the rights to like Mario porn?
Yeah, Mario porn, so that they
I'm gonna look ahead and see if they mention this.
Super Scurio Bros, or whatever it was. Super Hornio Bros. That was it.
I don't see them mentioning this.
Was one of the charges
Disney way too long.
pressed to preserve their trademark. The court ultimately found
no forward should be this long.
Ultimately found a copyright violation instead, stating, "It is plain that copying a comic book character's graphic images constitutes copying to an extent sufficient to justify finding of infringement." Walt Disney Productions vs. Air Pilots, F581, F2D 751 756 circa 1978.
5555555555555.
Mickey appeared in comic to rat on the boots, as he references his overbearing father pursuing the Air Pirates case quite directly, suggesting the part of the game of the IP theft is a tribute to the pirates. The pirates themselves were following an older tradition, that of the Tijuana Bibles. These unlicensed Tijuana Bibles. Tijuana Bibles. These unlicensed pornographic comics, usually featuring syndicated comic characters, were popular enough through the Great Depression and into the 1940s. But those were less litigious times, and Disney had less to lose. Unlike the Air Pirates, or the fictional Mr. Boop, Tijuana Pirates seldom participated. Tijuana Bibles seldom participated any kind of court proceedings. Part of the story here is that American copyright law has become increasingly punitive.
Punitive.
With a notoriously litigious Disney leading the charge with mostly Republican lawmakers happy to collaborate. Derivative art in the digital age can almost certainly rely on escaping notice. One needle in a haystack of preservation and copyright theft. Perversion and copyright theft, and on host sites having neither the ability nor inclination to remove them. This system works well if you're doing a parody strip about Betty Boop, but is perhaps more troubling for independent artists when sites like Redbubble allow anyone to upload art they find from any source.
I guess they do. If you're on like T Public or whatever. Well, they literally took down the Mr. Boop shirts that were there. Not Redbubble. Maybe I should put them on Redbubble.
This is more talking about how people can still independent artists work and put them onto
I know that's
Redbubble.
what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Not so much about an artist.
What about I don't know.
Huh?
By the time the paragraph's over, I forget what was even being said. Tijuana Bibles. I wonder, how is it directly referencing the Air Pirates?
Let me see.
I feel like that's kind of a stretch. Maybe it was intentional, but I don't feel like it's in the text.
Let's see. What does he say?
Who? What?
I'm looking for the when Mickey when Mickey rats them out.
You mean when Mickey doesn't acknowledge Goku?
Yeah, when Mickey does. No.
Or maybe they're talking about just when Mickey was being lewd.
Mickey appears in comic to rat on the boots, and he references his overbearing father pursuing the air pirates quite directly.
Yeah, how?
I have no idea. Walt Disney really hates it when I, Mickey Mouse, participate in orgies. There's a lot of orgies in the Air Pirate comics. I remember
okay.
that now.
Oh, I guess that's it then. In the years since the Air Pirates, the reign of the House of Mouse over copyright laws... spoon. The House of Mouse over copyright laws seems all but assured, with significant extensions on copyright protections across many different fields, from comics to music. The 1998 Sonny Bono Copyright Extension Act extended copyright to the life of the author plus 70 years for works by independent creators, which is how The Great Gatsby arrived in the public domain just a little before its 100th birthday. What did Sonny Bono do?
I don't know.
Look it up.
Okay.
Significantly, the restriction on corporate authored works, in quotes, usually really works authored by one or more creators doing work for hire, was extended to 120 years after creation or 95 years after publication. Disney had, I think that's what I like about the way copyright law is right now, is that if I were to make something and copyright it, I would be dead by the time I see it Frankensteined into something that was not my intention, unless it was bought by a studio that fucked it all up, which is often the case. Disney has not hesitated to sue, and the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of the same year targeted digital access and reproduction. How come Disney hasn't sued that Winnie the Pooh movie? The Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Well, that's because Winnie the Pooh's in the domain.
Yeah, but the Disney's Winnie the Pooh is not. And they're very clearly using the Disney Winnie the Pooh. It's got the red shirt and everything. Like, that's not the Winnie the Pooh design that A.A. Milne came up with.
Well, isn't it a different
I feel like it's more covered under parody than anything else. Because they also have that Grinch horror movie, which is not copyright free.
The design here is very clearly inspired by the Disney Winnie the Pooh.
I would not say inspired by. I would say it's definitely Winnie the Pooh.
I don't think you could say that this is the same design they use in the Winnie Pooh strips.
What strips?
Whatever the fuck they publish.
The Disney cartoons?
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I've never.
I would say it is. I would say it definitely is.
You think?
I would say it's only. It's covered under parody, like the Grinch movie is.
They don't give him a hyper realistic face in those.
They're yellow and have a red shirt. That's the Disney Winnie the Pooh.
There's other things here that make it different from the Disney one, though.
You can put a hat on Winnie the Pooh and it's still Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, but you
could give Winnie the Pooh face tats. That doesn't mean it's not the Disney character.
I think it does. in the eyes of copyright law.
Original of the character, do not steal.
Yeah.
Where was I? Despite or perhaps increasingly, I don't know. Despite or perhaps because of the increasingly intractable copyright ownership of so much media, an awful lot of media has become metamedia, structured around intertextual references and not infrequently dependent on a certain level of media saturation. I have no idea what the fuck that sentence is saying. The references themselves are unexceptional, as plenty of eager fans are happy to tell you. The comparison usually goes something like this. Older forms of culture are deeply intertextual and reference dependent, and have been as least as far as back as Aristophanes' various satires and other playwrights. So was Shakespeare not writing fanfic of Cleopatra? Ultimately, no. Copyright itself is one critical difference, and with it is the assumption that most creative works can and should be not only owned by their respective creators during the creator's lifetime, but produced, commissioned, and above all owned by companies.
Sure.
That's what copyright law is saying?
What? That.
Oh, whatever. We're never gonna...
Yeah,
we can't really comment on this because
because it's a complete text in of itself, right? It's an analysis of Mr. Boop, and it's hard for us to analyze an analysis of Mr. Boop.
I'm just
right?
trying to understand what they're saying.
Yeah, we should have done more reading earlier, I think. I would have, if I had read this
No, it's a blind...
and taken note. I mean, I have read this earlier. It's just been a while.
There you go.
But I need to, they are saying stuff here that you can comment on, of course. But it's hard in this.
What am I
this
supposed to?
exact
What am I
context.
supposed to comprehend what I read? Who do you think
no.
I am? All right, go on.
The implications of corporate ownership become starker in another dispute over Betty Boop. This time a real one. In 1932. White singer and actor Helen Kane attempted to sue Fleischer Studios for $150,000 over the control of the Boop, claiming that Fleischer had ripped off her likeness
Here
and
comes the
musical
Boop
style to create Betty Boop, possibly true, and that she had originated scat singing, which is patently false. Kane was suing for unfair competition.
Well, that's their categorical imperative.
Yeah. Recognizing her likeness and style to be a product in competition with other similar products, like Betty Boop cartoons. Fleischer Studios responded by submitting evidence that Kane's own likeness was unfair competition to African-American child star Esher Jones, known by her stage name Little or Baby Esher. Notably, the judge did not suggest that either Fleischer Studios or Helen Kane give Baby Esher $150,000 for other exploitation of her likeness. For the exploitation of her likeness or unfair competition. The theft of Kane's The theft of Kane's likeness, which created a rival product in Betty Boop, the intellectual property of Fleischer Studio, was in fact part of the longer tradition of what we might call cultural appropriation. No.
I feel like this is a weird thing to bring up.
I should have brought a glass of water.
Yeah, you should have.
In this case, unfair competition seems more honest and direct, since Baby Escher's image was used only to disprove.
Isn't it Baby Esther?
Esther?
Esther? No, it's not MC Escher.
Escher.
Esther.
I'm thinking like
Esther.
an Escher house, right?
No, like Esther. Not like MC Escher or Fall of the House of Usher.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's an Edgar Allan Poe thing. Or Esther Allan Poe. It's Esther.
Okay.
Like,
Esther. Okay.
Esther? Yeah, maybe
Esther.
Esther. Maybe the H is silent.
Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Baby Esther's image was used to disprove another artist's right to her own image. Helen Kane, by virtue, so to speak, of her whiteness, felt entitled to secure a copyright on the acts he had borrowed, if not from Baby Esther directly, then Certainly from black scat and jazz singers.
Um,
Right?
this is I feel like it's a I feel like it's almost padding the article a little bit because I mean I get how they got to this point to talking about this stuff, but at the same time it's like I don't know, it feels kind of tangential
Well, I think that I don't know.
because they're talking about copyright of it's like, well, here's the history of copyright with Betty Boop, I guess. I don't think Betty Boop has like roots in Baby Esther, I guess, but I don't think that like
No, I don't think that Baby Esther was the original Betty Boop.
yeah, right,
You know,
right.
I believe it is Helen Kane. But
and Helen Kane maybe
maybe took scatting from Baby Esther.
Okay, and you know what? Now that we're kind of like
Now that we're talking Esther.
well, now that we're piecing it apart like that, I guess I can see how it does relate to copyright because, like, I mean, the it's hard to like Betty Boop's origins are so muddled in the first place. It's like who has the copyright? But then again, all characters are inspired by other. Are all-
I noticed something in Mysterious Moe's.
What's that?
That's the first Betty Boop. That's the first Bimbo short where Betty Boop plays like a major role in it, right?
Oh, that's another thing is when Betty Boop did not start out as being inspired by any of these things because it was just like
originally a dog.
It was just Bimbo's girlfriend.
No, but I think that what I'm saying.
They characterized it later on.
I think you can see in Mysterious Moe's, she is a bit more dark-skinned than you would see in her later appearances.
Well, I
There's one
think
thing
that
I
the
would
actual copyright of the character isn't really so much about characterization as it is just like the fact, like the character. Like this is Betty Boop, girlfriend of Bimbo, in these Fleischer Studios cartoons. And if you change the name or the appearance, I mean, because studios reuse their characters and with the characterization completely different all the time. So it's more
It's more
the
about the
copyright is more
physical
just about the
appearance.
fact of the character than it is about characterization. So I don't know, maybe it is a bit tangential. I don't know. Another theft underwrites Fleischer Studios' work. What? Another theft underwrites Fleischer Studios' work, one more common to early animation generally, which is from The Minstrel Show. This was relatively big news a few years back when the video game Cuphead borrowed stylistically from Fleischer Studios without seriously reckoning with the historical origins of the style.
I remember partaking in this few discussions about this.
I've never heard of this. As Yusuf Cole and Samantha Blackman explained at the time, it's not possible to simply lift a style out of its historical connotations. Cuphead, with its gambling devil and jazz-inspired tunes, tried to treat the specific imagery of a racist cartoon repertoire as just a stylish shorthand for the 1930s, without further baggage. The baggage can't be left behind. As Nicholas Salmon points out in Birth of an Industry, figures like Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse are visually derived in part from blackface tropes. Their oversized gloves, common to dandy characters in minstrel shows, still familiar to audiences as vaudeville shows when Fleischer Studios created Betty Boop. I don't really want to get into this, but I would take issue with that a little bit. There are many reasons that characters wear gloves that I'm not. I think it's you could make that argument, but I think it's more of just like whatever. I don't know about this stuff.
I don't know. I think the
reason
glove
I've heard
thing is
about
pretty
characters
clearly
wearing
connected.
like cartoon characters wearing gloves is just because it's easier to draw.
But I
And-
think that I think the decision to make it them gloves Like you can is I don't know. Is
Maybe.
connected.
I mean,
Or the
everything
cultural
has
element.
weird roots anyway. I don't know.
Mhm,
Whatever.
mhm. I mean, but the thing is, that's why it's important to acknowledge the weird roots, though, to understand them and the background behind it.
I think this whole like this is just feels like a really weird essay to put in front of these strips in the first place. Also, like to get into this sort of stuff before a comic strip about a guy who's married to and having sex with Betty Boop. It just feels really strange. It's a strange decision. I mean, if you want to do this sort of analysis of Mr. Boop, I get to an extent. I mean, we do that, and I think we try not to get too serious about it a lot of the time, because for one, I mean, we don't know what we're talking about. Whatever. I do think it's weird to put it like right in front of the strips to like all this like hyper serious analysis of like these like they're talking about like the minstrel show histories of cartoon icons here, and it's like this is a precursor to
It's
strip? This
I
is
don't
the
know,
forward.
I feel like it's cultural context, right?
Do you think S. Craig Zoller
I
read
think
all
that
this?
What? Who?
The director of Brawl and Cellblock 9920, whatever. Did they read all this before they
I
read
don't know.
they read the strip?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because they logged
I
this
don't
on Goodreads.
Oh, yes.
Did they read all this?
I don't
That's
know.
the type of person that has
I
Mel
read all
Gibson
of
in their
this.
movies, so I wonder what they think of all this.
Well, I read all of this. When I first picked this
Well,
book up.
That's our job.
Well,
one
I did
that
it
I- one
before
that I don't do.
before yeah,
Huh?
I did that before. We had to do it for today.
Well, not before we had the podcast.
No, because these weren't printed then.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Where's our special thanks, Alec?
Yeah. Yeah.
These traits became these traits became residual in part because of the presence of much more obvious derogatory racial characters present within the Fleischer Studios cartoons as well. Salmon uses "I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal you" as an example, with its use of the generic cannibals common to the racist imaginary. What? I think that's supposed to say imagery. The generic cannibals common to the racist imagery of early 20th century America. It says imaginary. 205. Don't know why it says 205 there. What? In like brackets. This generic racism is made more concrete with the use of dissolves between cannibals and Louis Armstrong and members of the jazz ensemble with whom he played the title song, meant to create a strong visual link for the audience between the band and the cannibals. What? What the fuck? They did that? Did they
Sounds
do
pretty
that?
Crazy. I don't know. I haven't
That's-
seen. I'll be glad if you're dead. What you rascal you?
Salmon notes that Fleischer Studios did use recurring minstrel characters in Betty Boop cartoons like Coco the Clown and Bimbo the Dog. Isn't Coco... Wait, what? Bimbo's... I thought... Isn't Coco like literally just
He's
a
his
jazz
brother's-
singer?
Coco's
Like-
a clown.
Yeah, but like traced... It's like traced over like Cab Calloway or something.
I thought it was traced over his brother.
I
The-
thought
the other
I thought
Fleischer.
Coco was Cab Calloway.
Coco, I know for a fact, was a clown act that Max Fleischer's brother did before they went into animation.
I'm at least
They
in a
were.
few cartoons, Cab Calloway was Coco.
Yeah, I think that's true. But not originally.
Not originally.
Not originally.
Originally.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it actually gets into that. Betty Boop herself, a white character, is now mostly remembered for the jazz style on Fleischer's 1933 take on Snow White, where Coco is rotoscoped over Cab Calloway. Well, Snow White. Oh, I'm thinking of Snow White. Wait. I was thinking of the Cinderella one. The Cinderella one is Betty Boop is in color, and a redhead, which they retconned. Betty is based on a white artist imitating black music, and desire for her reminds us of the violence of white desire for blackness and for black art. So if Max Fleischer, this is like heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So if Max Fleischer is Betty's,
when I read this and then I saw Cheryl's video right when we started doing book 3, I was like, oh, I got really like, oh man, we've been talking about this like idiots, where there's these actual like discussions about the comic. That's why I got like all
Lisa,
deep on it for about.
Keep in mind, we are 50% a Being Jim Davis knockoff podcast.
Yeah.
We are not qualified to get into any of this stuff. People know what they're signing up for when they start listening. It's 50% Being Jim Davis. Well, then again, very often on Being Jim Davis, they read into the Garfield strip as being super offensive. Probably more than it actually is, honestly, I would say. Like, sometimes there is a little bit of problematic stuff in Garfield, but not. I don't think as often as Chris and Jonathan make their out to be. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. I think they read into it a little bit much sometimes. Maybe for comedic sake. I don't know. I
just really felt like it in part of fear, put the fear in me that we weren't giving it justice. I was also thinking like, it sort of inspired me to look at it in a different, look at the comic in a different way, in a more intellectual.
When was this?
This was like right when we started doing book 3.
Book 3.
Yeah, because I believe it. So anyway. Towards the end, maybe I was just like, oh. I don't
remember. Listeners, listen back from the beginning and see if if you notice a change starting at book 3.
Yeah. Oh, they're talking about book 3 now. That's the change.
So, if Max Fleischer is Betty's dad, is baby Esther or Helen Kane her rightful mother? And what would she make of Alex's desire? Is it qualitatively the same as Fleischer's desire to possess Betty Boop, as audiences desire to possess and be possessed by intellectual properties, as Helen Kane's desire to possess baby Esther's style? What? Okay, whatever.
The problem of desire animates much of this text. Desire? In the slippage... That's something I brought up a few times, I think, when we were discussing book 4, desire being the main theme. The problem of desire animates much of this text. In the slippage between consumer desire and sexual desire, how different is the kind of identity-forming attachment that animates the pleasures of something like Ready Player One and the Snyder Cut and Marriage to Betty Boop.
I remember.
In one strip, I was just reading through that line again because I didn't quite understand it.
We don't have time for that.
No. In one strip, Betty Boop is listening possible partners for an orgy.
Listing.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said listening.
No, I didn't. You misheard.
No, you misread.
Miss Fred Flintstone.
Miss Fred Flintstone.
Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit. Gardevoir from Pokemon. This is the same kind of roll call of pleasures which animates
roll
Ready
call
Player
list
One.
of pleasures.
That's what I said.
You didn't say list.
An embarrassing and excessive desire to
excessive.
See brands. That's what I said.
Are you doing a voice?
No, I'm not doing a voice.
I'm pretty sure you are.
No,
you were like,
not.
an embarrassing and excessive desire to see brands.
No.
That's what you did.
I didn't. But it was just how I read. That's just my reading.
That's not what you were doing.
In the dialect of enlightenment,
Dialectic.
Theodore Adorno wrote that the culture industry, or the capitalist mass production of entertainment, was like ritual of tarantulas.
That's not what that says. Was like a ritual of Tantalus.
Offering the object of sexual desire, but prohibiting from
My fucking God.
But prohibiting its consumption.
Consummation.
Consummation.
Oh my fucking god, we're
In the
terrible
next
at this.
in the next panel in Mr. Boop, we do see all these characters flushed and sweaty, agreeing how good the sex was. But for readers, the only pleasure is the recognition of the brand and the slight thrill of the taboo, like spotting Easter eggs in a post-credits scene.
I'm not sure how much I agree with that.
I think that's what I got from that.
Well,
Okay.
it's
Look at all
but
these characters.
but it's like the pleasure is in the recognizing the irony of it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
It's not
it
just
is
like,
recog-
oh look, it's
No,
that would
This
be
article
that would
isn't
be the
making-
unironic reading of it is being
Yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
that's
it's
what
God
it's-
of War.
yeah. It's pointing out the traits that specific panel is making fun of.
Oh, I
Right.
see.
Yeah.
I guess.
But
Even then.
Yes. Even then, the pleasure of expertise and ownership of exclusive knowledge is diluted. Betty had named the trademark characters moments earlier. The pleasure is similar to a litany of 80s references which animates Ready Player One. Pleasure in the presence of familiar products. For the culture industry, the character Alec Robbins is both the ideal consumer and a significant threat because his desire is absolute, created by the culture industry itself, but finally exceeding it.
I like that paragraph.
Yeah, what it's saying is Alec has been.
I don't know if I don't know if I
the
fully
fictional
jive with what everything being said there, but I think it's this is the best
Mr.
analysis they presented so far.
Mr. Boop is a type of person who is only being created by his obsession for media, right? And
Mr. Boop?
Yeah, Mr. Boop, the fictional author Mr. Boop.
Sure.
And he's
Well,
gone beyond. He's disturbed the peace by not just enjoying the media presented to him, but taking it into his own hands, becoming the husband of Betty Boop.
Their own
Getting that cup.
claw hands.
Yeah.
That's how they're drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this wire on your book?
What? Why?
On your copy of the book, the wire over your page.
It's my headphones.
Oh.
Yeah. Listeners, that my headphones are visible in the photo I took of the
What photo? I'm reading the physical copy.
Yeah,
Shut up.
no, in front of me.
Mr. Boop's finale is a montage which samples animation directly from each of the corporate properties as the characters are returned to their original media, including the fictional girl from a fictional diary-style strip who Alec had forced to become Betty Boop in the third arc. That's a weird description of what happens in the finale, because it's like they kind of pivot there from describing that like montage. Well, they say montage. The bunch of clips from the media that is like referenced.
That's a montage.
Yeah, and it's saying they're returned to their original media, which was one reading we had of it, but it didn't really carry across all of the clips. And then they also say, also the fictional girl from the diary style strip, but they aren't returned in that. They aren't shown in those clips. They have like a different, like more vague thing that happens with them in the. I don't know.
What?
Well, they show Liz T-posing
okay.
and then cracking open.
And then we see them going past each other in the shop.
Oh, I guess that follows the montage.
And there.
Does it?
I think
so.
it's before the montage, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's directly before the montage. It's the It's she's the first thing that is returned to her normality.
Okay, but either way, the I mean, I think them being returned to their original media. It's Mr. Boopy's a hard strip to get a read on sometimes. I don't know that I could say anything so certainly about it like that. Like, oh yes, they're being returned. I mean, is that what's happening? Who even fucking knows? Only
Well,
Alec, if even.
Yeah. Apparently, I think it's maybe the thing where Alec wants us to interpret it more than he wants to give an answer.
I have a lot of questions for Alec
Or than he
about
even has
the
them.
inclusion of this essay in the book.
Mm.
Mr. Fleischer, the fictional CEO of the very real Fleischer Studios, is caught mid-email ordering Alec to stop using Betty Boop in his sexually explicit little comic strip. Well, the real CEO of Fleischer Studios is a Mr. Fleischer, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. Is it? It may not be anymore. But I know that the Twitter for Fleischer Studios is like a Mr. Fleischer or something. I don't remember. I know we looked it up. I don't remember who the CEO is anymore. Alec hand delivers a letter repenting of drawing himself and Betty Boop having so much sex, and most critically, promising to now always respect big companies from here on out. Again, not totally clear that was Alec. I mean, Alec hand delivering it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm being
Mr.
pedantic. Maybe you're listening to Being Pedantic.
That's every episode of this. No, one thing I'm thinking about.
Wait, who did you look up who the CEO is?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay.
It says fictional because even if Mr. Fleischer is real, this is a fictionalized version of it.
I know.
This is anyway. I know how fiction works. I know.
Well, except for the fact that this is like after the fiction has been brought down, so it's like a fictionalized, but like real life in the fiction. This is what I'm talking about. How do you even read this shit? How do you even make an analysis of this shit when it's not clear what like the line between fiction and reality is so blurred? It's like, yes, it's fiction, but it's also the reality within the fiction of the reality within the fiction. Like, what? Okay, what? Fuck it. What are you saying?
I feel like to put this as the forward is more to just want to present it to fans who may have not seen of the essay, because isn't it weird to have your forward describe the finale, right?
Right.
So I feel like, I mean, maybe it would have made more sense to put it at the end in that case. The real question is who is
That would've been
getting this
weird.
book who hasn't read Mr. Boop,
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
you know?
I guess that's the point. But
It could have been an
it
afterwards.
should say read after, but it is before.
Yeah.
Alex should have just transcribed Being Mr. Boop episode 1 and put that as the forward.
Yeah, exactly. It was already out by this point, so
Yeah. Just
People would have been
transcribe-
reading this
Oh,
like, what
we
the
had all
fuck
of
is
season
Jim
1
Jim
out by
Davis?
this point. Transcribe
would've
all
been-
of season 1, put that as the forward. It would probably be less long than this is.
But you'd need annotations to explain what being Jim Davis is and a bunch of that crap.
Yeah, just have alt text.
Yeah.
On it. And you would need to embed the photos that we put in the descriptions. You need to embed the photo of like Lisa's water bottle and shit.
Read the rest of the
I'm
paragraph.
looking for where we are. The apparent restoration of the order of properties, of course satiric. Robin's drawing of Mr. Fleischer slightly resembles the mustachioed Max Fleischer, who drew himself into his animations and became both corporate entity and corporate image, available as another character for Robbins to play with.
I
Is
didn't
that-
know that about
Yeah,
him.
I
I
don't-
didn't know that he appeared
If you
in-
say so.
Yeah.
The last step is to return the final character to his own genre. Alec Robbins stands up and walks out of a freeze-framed reprisal of the fictional public access show, which he had interspersed with his strips on Twitter, which was not essential lore up at that point, I would say, but whatever.
And
all
it's
of
not
the
included with most versions. It's
Huh?
only and those aren't interspliced with most versions of the thing. It's not on the website. It's not in the book. It's
Yeah, it's
certainly not
linked
in
on
the
the
comics
website, but
page or whatever.
it's like
What's
bonus
what's
material.
it's certainly not on Comic Fine.
I would
Have you-
honestly say that that's sort of a.
That's why I link people
Flaw?
to the Twitter when I showed them.
I would say it's sort of a flaw with the presentation of
Mm.
Mr. Boop because this is presented as like a bonus thing, but then it becomes essential lore to like the last second, and it's like, well, it's already not.
I want to.
It was already been marked inessential.
I found a.
It'd be like if they suddenly
I-
introduced a Star Wars character from like really extended like Legends media and just made them like an essential character that everyone was already supposed to be familiar with.
Like Beep the Meep. Have you heard about this?
No.
The new Doctor Who trailer for the 60th anniversary special has included the character Beep the Meep, who previously only
Beat
appeared.
the meat?
Yeah, who previously had only appeared in the 1980 Doctor Who comics.
Okay, but is it at least like reintroducing it or reintroduce or is
I don't
it
know,
like
it's just
expecting
the
people to
trailer.
know?
It's just the trailer.
I guess you'll see.
yeah, we'll
but if
see-
it
we'll
is
see.
expecting people to know, then yeah, that's a perfect
Here's
example.
Beep the Meep. Here's Beep the Meep.
Beat the meat.
Beep the Meep.
Beat the meat.
Also, I just found
beat the meat.
I just found an image of the of an article about the Helen Kane lawsuit, and the headline is "Boop Boopity Boop" and a $250,000 suit. I don't know.
Great,
I don't
great
know
delivery
numbers.
there.
$250,000
Boop, boopity boop, and a $250,000 suit.
Yes.
The last
Is
step.
Betty Boop? Is Betty Boop a dupe? That's the first line on the article.
Is it?
That's
oh
fun.
wow. Lisa, are you related?
Well,
They're asking if
Yeah, I would
Betty is
say,
related to you.
yeah. Actually,
Except it's spelled D-U-P-E.
no, yeah. Actually, the truth is Betty changed her last name when she joined the
But it
the-
also
the
says
film
Boop-
industry.
But it
she
also
didn't
says
wanna be
boop, boop, oop, a dupe. Like,
'Cause in
oh,
this
boop, boop is a
universe-
dupe.
Yeah, no.
D-U-O-P.
No, she changed her name when she entered the film industry because she didn't want to face any discrimination for being a dupe.
Like Nick Cage.
Like a lot of people, like Stan Lee.
Like David
very
Bowie's director child.
Zoe Bowie. You mean?
What? No. The director of Moon.
Yeah. His
And Warcraft.
his birth name was Zoe Bowie, I think, and they changed
Oh.
it to Duncan Jones.
That sounds like a cutesy nickname. Oh, Zoe Bowie.
Zoe. Yeah.
It sounds like if you had a cat named Zoe, you'd be like, "Who's the little Zoe Bowie?"
Zoe Bowie. Ah.
All of this is set to "Come Susertad." Come Sweet Death.
Say it with a German accent, and then you'll get it.
Come Susertad. Come Sweet Death, recorded for the end of Evangelion, a film which is itself a geek or terminally online shorthand for a depressing and weird meta ending. If you say so,
No, that's true. That's true.
I wouldn't know. The chastened character of the author reflects on his position. Chastened? Is that how you pronounce that?
What?
Chastened? Chastened? Chastened born?
Chastened. Let's see.
Chastened? Oh, fuck it, whatever. The chastened character of the author reflects on his position as the architect of his own suffering and corporate IP thief, and elects to do it again by pulling the camera out for one more layer of self-reflexive humor. Pulling the camera out for one more layer of self-reflexive humor.
That's a big Jim Davis reference. Right.
I guess. I don't fully
Um,
understand what they mean there at the end, but
Yeah, interesting that they just describe the finale. What are they trying to say about the finale, though? I don't understand really.
nothing. They're just saying it happens. Just like
Okay.
being Mr. Boop.
I said in the first paragraph that Alec Robbins, the character, was a wife guy. So part of the joke in Mr. Boop is Alec's near total abjection.
Oh my god. Yeah.
What?
No, just we're gonna get into this now.
Yeah. Early in the strip, Alec suffers from erectile dysfunction out of fear. Last page. Of disappointing Betty. And Alec is in a coma for most of the second
Not the
season.
last page.
Alec's roommates, Peter Griffin from Family Guy and Sonic the Hedgehog,
Of
remind him
course.
he isn't good enough for Betty Boop. It is, however, an abjection.
Wait a second. Wait. What the fuck? That's not right.
What?
Alex roommates Peter Griffin from Family Guy and Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic wasn't his roommate. at all.
Bugs Bunny was the roommate. Who is this fucking author?
Wow.
Who
We
wrote
should
this shit?
Let's tell that to Alec.
We wouldn't
Let's
get
say
that
to
wrong.
Alec. We gotta tell that to Alec.
We wouldn't get
We
that
can do a
wrong.
fucking check. Wow.
Continue.
These guys bogus. Reminds him he isn't good enough for Betty Boop. It is, however, an abjection when he, as the artist, ultimately controls.
Which he?
As the artist, ultimately controls. True.
Mhm.
The penultimate episode of Mr. Boop demonstrates Alec's equivocation between abjection and power most directly, as a weeping Alec pleads with a weeping Betty to stop hurting him, and Betty explains that he is the only real person there, the person directly in control of what she says and does, and
Is that what
therefore-
happened?
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't remember.
happens. So he says, "You're drawing this."
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Go on. And therefore,
And therefore the only one capable of hurting himself and hurting Betty. Alec Robbins, too, is also a working artist, and you can purchase copies of Mr. Boop for an affordable $16. Where is Alec Robbins in the chain of thefts which undergird the
Don't know what that
cartoon
is.
he stole? Yeah.
how much was this?
This was more than $16.
Well, yeah, of course. It's all 4 volumes. I'm
This
just
was $40.
curious again. Huh?
40 US bucks.
16 times 4 is.
You got to add the forward onto it and the
Let me get
hardback.
Let me get my calculator out. 16 times 4, 64. Hey,
Oh, this is a bargain.
that's a bargain.
Whoa! And you got the forward. You got to.
Well, it's because they're only charging you for 1 cover instead of 4.
Well, the covers really, yeah.
See, sometimes in collections they'll have like all of the previous
they do.
cover art.
They got the previous cover art in this.
What do you mean? They
You
do?
can- yeah.
Where? You didn't show me that.
At the start of each book, they've got the cover art.
Oh,
of that book. It's the same as what we've seen it. It just doesn't.
yeah,
have
but
the
it's
teenager
presented
corporation.
differently.
It just doesn't have the teenage.
You gotta
It's
show me-
presented
you-
the exact
Did you
same.
scan the whole book?
No, I did. I scanned one page of the book.
You gotta show me how it's presented
It's the
exactly.
exact same, except it doesn't have the Teenager Corporation logo or the
Can I just say-
$16.
Because, yeah, Alec lost the copyright of their own stolen copyright.
Yeah.
I this is why I don't read articles. I don't know what the
Ah.
fuck they're saying so much time. I gotta use all these big ass words.
Perhaps if
I don't
you
want
read
to
more.
complain, but I like.
I published an article
equivocation, abjection. What do you want me to Google every other word?
today. I actually
Talk normally. Don't talk intellectually. I know what you're talking about.
actually
I'm just a simple country lawyer.
this is my promotion. I published an article today about the dilution of brands, specifically using the Residents as my main example.
Oh,
So give that a read. Cryptocorp.tumblr.com.
okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Where were we at?
In the course of trying to write this essay, I've cast around a little bit trying to figure out how to read Air Pirates Funnies and or Mickey Rat for free. I believe the Alexander Street Database Underground Comic Collection may have a digitally accessible version, but subscriptions cost an enormous amount of money, par for the course for academic databases. Like many people seeking paywalled content, including academic work, I have, of course, tried pirate websites. Controversial, please read dubiously legal. Peer-to-peer download sites like the Pirate Bay will often have scans of older comics available, but in this case, I couldn't find anyone hosting the files. Maybe I'm losing my touch. It was much easier to find and watch Betty
'Cause you
Boop
li-
episodes. I
Using
also
Pirate Bay. Of course you lost your touch.
I also
Hey.
pirated my copy of Dialectic of Enlightenment. What the fuck is that? Most fruitfully, Mr. Boop invites us to consider the problem of desire and possession, and how we are ourselves implicated in our own relationships with these goods and with the copyright laws meant to protect Betty Boop, but not Baby Esther. Perhaps a final theft can take place if one of you plagiarizes or resells this essay. If you do, I hope you get rich from it. Whoa! Wait, that's not the end, is it?
That's the end.
Wait, that's the end of the essay?
You sucker! We got
Oh
you!
my god.
This is Patreon exclusive. But
It's
also,
not-
this is published in the Mr. Boop, so they
we
Alex Robbins himself.
should put this on the Patreon, but public. That would be funny.
But also,
we should-
Alec himself has stolen this essay and put it in his book.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we are stealing it from Alex's book and putting it on our Patreon.
Continuing the fine
For
art of
free.
piracy.
We're not gonna put it behind a paywall, but
I will. I'll add the paywall.
no.
I'll
You
have
can
my.
put it
I'll
on your
start
own
my.
Patreon.
Yeah,
put it
I'll
with a
start my
paywall.
own Patreon and then put a payroll.
I have a Patreon. I could just put it on there, but I don't like to put the Being Mr. Boop stuff on there because it's a separate. I don't want to make money off of our collaborative work without you getting a cut. What are you laughing about?
I'm sorry. Someone just sent me a I sent someone like an hour.
Maybe
ago
I will
that-
make money off of it.
I sent someone
Maybe
an hour
I'll
ago
start
that,
selling pirated discs.
that Joker song like an hour ago. Can we? Do you mind if we cut for a second?
What?
Like an hour? Because
No,
you know,
I do.
Okay.
We've
okay.
already started talking about it.
Okay, but you know how earlier we were talking.
You
about
must
that
be
joke?
speaking of course. You wouldn't be so off topic as to start speaking about this Steve
The
Miller.
you know
Band
the song.
You
yeah,
must
the-
be talking about the movie The People's Joker, which relates to
Yeah,
the copyright
no,
law and
yeah.
all that.
No, but
Yes,
I sent that.
That is what we
clip.
are speaking of. And scene.
Next page, we see Betty Boop, one of the angel Betty Boops, that we've seen many times before. Alec likes to use it as like a stamp.
Was that it's one of the same ones that was well in the finale, but also on the border pages.
It was also in the end of book 2.
Are we done talking about that essay? Do we want to talk more about that essay a little bit?
We said all the. We basically commented as it happened enough.
I guess. Do we have any final thoughts about it?
I just think it's interesting to talk about Mr. Boop with this much detail.
And well, and to put such a. I wonder if putting this essay in the collection confirms
Much of
that
what it's
person's analysis of the text.
Mm.
Maybe that's why
I
Alec
think
didn't Alec didn't use our analysis because we were wrong.
Yeah, I think one thing about I did read the article on the website, that's the Solard website, and there is a few comments on this that are just like firmly against everything this article goes for. That I read like,
Intentionally, like disagreeing, or just like
yeah,
they
disagreeing.
don't understand.
Yeah, Jonathan. I don't know if I should read this.
We'll censor out the name.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, it's there on the website. Just go to solred.co/free-sex/free-beer.
We'll censor out
Says-
everything except Jonathan, so people think it was Jonathan Gibson.
Yeah. This article kind of seems all over the place to me. The pretentious tone is off-putting. Also, you don't mention that, and many of the you don't mention that many of these jazz singers involved with Fleischer actually worked with them, were paid by them, and were huge fans of them.
I agree.
Especially Calloway.
I agree.
It's true their stuff is racist as hell by today's standards, and they could have paid Baby Easter, but to make it seem like the direct stealing of all jazz, the Baby Esser steal, is undeniable, when so much of Fleischer's studio work was collaboration with black creators of the time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This seems way off the mark. Also, there's no mention that the only reason Disney sued the creator of the Air Pirates was because he would not stop trying to get them to sue him, non-stop until he finally did. Anyway, I don't know. When white people do race analysis like this, I always feel this kind of weirdness happens.
Okay, here's my final thoughts on the article here. I don't think any of the analysis here truly matters for being in the collection, other than that final paragraph where they pretty much ask to be plagiarized.
Yeah.
I feel like that is
Beautiful.
the
Listeners, take
full-
this from the Patreon and put it on your own RSS.
I believe that is the full reason this article is in the collection is just to further that and just have that as like sort of a gag in itself. Because
Listeners,
I don't
I
feel
want
like, in
you
fact,
to-
I don't feel like I feel like the analysis it doesn't really belong in this collection. It feels overly serious for this for the collection. But if you take that into account, it becomes a joke in itself, and I feel like that makes it that kind of clears it all up to me. That makes it more.
Solrad has 2 other articles about Mr. Boop published.
I know.
and
I saw that.
Yeah, judging by the titles, I think they might be more interesting.
Mm.
One of them is Lies More Accurate Than Truth, Mr. Boop and the Cartoon Crossover, and What's Not to Like, Mr. Boop and Me. Seem less pretentious, perhaps.
Mm. So
One
I
of them
don't.
was published on my birthday.
Maybe we've been too overly harsh on the article. I mean, I don't know. We don't need to like
Call it pretentious.
overanalyze this overanalysis, I suppose.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. They have their own take on it. And they've been somewhat canonized in a way. Their takes have been somewhat canonized into Mr. Boop.
Also, listeners, right now I'm on Soulseek, the peer-to-peer music sharing site, and I'm looking up Being Mr. Boop, and I'm getting no hits. So, please.
I think it's
change
funny that they spent like the entire last paragraph saying how they had a hard time pirating shit
that.
like that. But okay, whatever.
Yeah, this guy's on Pirate Bay. Fucking.
That's what I
Soulseek's
use.
where it's at.
What are you trying to say?
I'm
Arg.
Most pirates will laugh at you if you say you use Pirate Bay. Is all I'm saying.
I don't know
I don't
how
know
to do
what-
shit.
I don't know what the alternatives are. I use Soulseek, and that is liable.
That's from music.
And and
That's from music.
Yeah. It's mostly for music, but you'll be surprised what you find on it.
Lisa.
That's for music.
Lisa.
Yeah.
What comes after the Betty Angel bit?
The after the
Jesus
angel
fuck.
bit, you see blank page, and then
Ugh.
wait a second.
Then what?
Is this in?
Can you just show me on your webcam so I
Okay,
can
but
see
wait.
what's in the book? Because my pages are glued shut for some reason.
Oh, I see. Oh, because you're. Oh, I know what's going on there.
What are you talking about? Shut up.
I'm just gonna.
Hey, you know what? Breaking the
Wait,
fourth
is it-
wall a
is
little
this
bit
in-
here. We recorded part of this later than we did the first part of this episode, and in between part 1 and part 2 of recording this, you know how I was talking about how I was talking about the physical copy of Homestuck I have.
Yeah,
Guess what
you
I got for
two
Christmas
now.
this year?
2. Act
No.
2.
I got
Act 1.
Problem Sleuth, the full physical collection box set.
Who the fuck got that for you, man? What the fuck?
My sister.
That's
It
beautiful.
was a great gift.
That's beautiful.
Those are hard to come by now. They don't sell them
I know
anymore.
they are. That's why I was like, how the fuck did someone get this?
Oh, yeah, it was on eBay, I guess. Yeah.
That's insane.
Is this
Merry Christmas, everyone.
this
Good night.
page? This page is in
This
the
page.
No,
This page is right after the Floating Betty, and I
it's
don't
in the
know why I
first
didn't-
volume,
I
right?
d-
Isn't
I
it?
think it is, but
It
there's
says,
no
warning, no
lawyers.
lawyers beyond this point. Disclaimer, this comic is based entirely on true events. Any resemblance to fictional cartoon characters is a complete coincidence. I really am married to a woman named Betty Boop, but for whatever reason,
Yeah.
refuse to believe that. Let's just say this is all big parody or satire or something. Okay, thank you.
See, I thought this was in the first book. I haven't checked if it is.
Pretty sure it
but
is.
It's
I'm
before
not gonna check.
It's
We just
before
read it.
the
We didn't
cover art
describe it
appears.
completely, but I'm pretty sure it's in the first one anyway, so
It's
whatever.
before the cover art appears in this volume, so I was like, maybe it's not.
Yeah, what's that right
Um,
after that? What's right after that?
Right after that is the introduction by Jim Davis, created by Garfield.
All of this is before the cover art?
Yeah,
Huh. And that was in volume 1.
that was
too.
in volume 1.
Yeah. Okay, then what?
And then next it's the cover art, which is identical
volume
except
1.
it doesn't have the Teenager Corporation or the price
Uh-huh.
logo.
So
then
it's got
you've
the bar
book
on the
1.
side?
Yeah, the bar's on the side still. Then you got all of book
Isn't
1.
that all that it says on the side? So it's just blank?
It's just blank. Yeah, it's yellow.
Oh.
So then you've got all
Oh,
of
it is
book
in color,
1,
though?
the guest strips. Yeah, it's in color. All the guest 1, the guest strips. You got the book 2 artwork, book 3 artwork, book 4 artwork, blah blah
The
blah.
guest strips are in black and white, right?
Yes.
There's no extra stuff in the...
And the inside.
Other
no, not on the
volumes?
inside. Nope.
Does it have the, like, interstitial, like, the ads and stuff that were in
Yes,
volume 1?
it does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay, so we I think we get the layout here. What comes after the end of volume 4?
After the end of volume 4, we have get in there. After Alec
Wait, the
disappears-
guest strips are placed between each volume too.
Yes, between
Okay.
each volume. It would have been a little distracting to have them all at the end. And also some will take place within continuity, like the copyright law one.
Sort of.
Yeah, anyway.
Well,
They're
they're not canon, but like they
but they take place
in a certain
within
time.
that
yeah,
that
okay,
time
yeah.
period. Next page is the credits for the comic strip artists, the guest comic artists.
Yeah,
There's a whole
volume
page dedicated
volume
to
1
volume 1.
guest comic credits. Pete Times. You go.
Casey Nowak,
Remy Boydell.
Joni Phillips,
Ryan North.
Alex Sunwald,
Cardam O'Neill.
Max Swartz.
Sean Muscles.
Next page is volume 2 and 3.
Volume
it
2
says,
guest comic credits. Hugo Limbo.
Branson Reese,
Emma Jane.
Zach Gordon. I
What?
don't know what I'm doing. I don't know.
Ryan
You've got your
Pequin.
Cardo thing. I guess I could just stick with the
You do
Scott-
Donkey Kong.
Benson.
You sound like you're doing some of the math.
Scott
Ryan
Benson. Oh.
North and Derek Charm. Volume 3 guest
Volume
comic
3.
shreds.
Julia Wild.
What?
K.
Why'd
the
you say
fuck?
Julia Wild?
I wasn't looking at the book when I said that either.
What the fuck?
I don't know if that just came. Julia, if you're listening. Yeah.
Change
Yeah,
your
you know.
last name.
No. I was thinking if Julia Wild is listening, we've just made a psychic connection, I think. Julia K.
Olivia Walsh.
Donkey Kong.
Sean Horan.
Sean Horan. Okay. Nicolette Buckland.
Gil Goletsky.
Rain Clar.
Emma Hunsiger.
Musical guest Alec Robbins.
Meta Knight.
And your host, Alec Robbins.
Inkling.
Yeah.
Don.
Austin-
I want to
Austin-
bring back. I'm gonna bring back this bit
Austin
'cause
Powers.
I'm gonna bring back this. I'm gonna bring back this bit because it's too good. Don Pardo. My favorite.
Don Pardo. Don Pardo. Was that even in an episode? I don't think that was in an episode. And then immediately following this is the
Yes.
author page for Alec Robbins, right?
Yes.
Got a little author picture here. It's not the picture of him with Betty, with the Betty statue.
No.
This is
actually,
like
but- yeah.
Alec trying to do an author portrait type thing. With finger in front of mouth, sort of like slightly holding a tablet pen. I feel like this is either from or around when they were doing the How to Draw My Wife video. Feels very reminiscent of that. And underneath, let's go sentence by sentence. It says, Alec Robbins is a writer, artist, game developer, filmmaker, and husband to cartoon sex symbol Betty Boop.
His other works include the video game Heartbreak High, a breakup simulator, and his new comic
Yeah.
Crime Hot.
Okay. He's worked on alt comedy TV shows like Adult Swim's The Eric Andre Show, Netflix's I Think You Should Leave. Oh, they did work on that. Okay. IFC's Comedy Bang Bang, and TBS's The Dress Up Gang. What? I've never heard of that. The
He is
Dress Up
most-
Gang?
He is most well known. He's most well known for his webcomic Being Mr. He is most well
What?
known for his webcomic Mr. Boop.
They're
About
they're
how he
most
is
well
married
known
to
for
being the subject
podcast.
of
being Mr. Boop.
Yeah, imagine if it was just like he's best known for the podcast Being Mr. Boop, like it's his, who was hosted and recorded by him. Hosted, written, recorded. About how he is married to his hot wife, Betty Boop.
Is he really married to Betty Boop?
Yes.
Of course.
He always was, and he always will be.
And so it shall remain. Except
the rest
this takes place after that's already all fallen apart, but whatever. This should be in the front.
A little
And
wink
the-
to
and
the
the forward
They
should be in the
swap this
back.
with- they printed this backwards.
They
God
put it
damn
as backwards.
Um,
No, you're supposed to read it like a manga. Fucking
yeah.
Alec could
it
be in a
should've-
weeb.
Didn't one of them start like that? One of the zines start with,
Hey,
"Hey, this is
yeah,
a Western
didn't they?
style."
Where did that go?
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never find it now.
You gotta buy the zines instead.
They're the better version.
Yeah.
Hand printed by Alec too.
Yeah, you get the you get to have a copy of those touched by hands that have touched Betty Boop.
Ooh, that's smart.
That's showbiz.
Ooh yeah.
And then after that is more of those border pages.
There is. Oh, the rest is just the
The
Betty Boop
the-
panel.
the Getty Angels
Yeah,
border pages.
I'm done. I'm
And then
done.
there's the
I'm done
back.
with this podcast.
The back which we've
Quit.
read
quit.
already. Yeah, all right.
Quit.
Hey, it's confirmed Alec worked on I Think You Should Leave. I don't think that was on their
quit.
IMDb page. Was it?
I quit.
Alec doesn't even have an IMDb picture. What's up with that? Get on that. I don't think they were credited for High on Life on IMDb.
I'm
Oh, they
really
are.
interested.
No,
in
they're
some
they're
of these-
credited as additional voices.
I'm really interested in some of these earlier credits on his IMDb. You know,
I don't see
Like-
I Think You Should Leave on here. IMDb fucking sucks. I say as someone who spends way too much time on IMDb. But where's the credit for I Think You Should Leave? I don't see that on here. What the hell?
I don't
I
like
think
this
maybe
new thing.
the pages for I Think You Should Leave aren't fully fully. They don't have all the credits.
No,
on
he
them,
was
probably.
he was producer on a film called The Day Job, and I have no idea what the fuck that is, and I can't find much information on it online, and I kind of want to ask him about that. Like, what is this?
Was in the
That
People's
seems to be his
Joker
first. That seems to be his first like proper credit on anything. That's why I'm
that we know of.
Yeah.
I have one film credit, but I'm not credited on IMDb because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be able
clutter
to be.
up your IMDb page.
I didn't want to have an
film.
IMDb page with just one credit in this very strange film, which I don't necessarily. If this is my own, if I'm going to be credited in this film, I don't want it to be my only credit. Is basically the thing.
I see.
Because it's too high of an endorsement of a film, which I do like, but the subject material is maybe not something well, whatever.
I'm done.
Anyway.
I'm done with this show.
Are you in any films?
End it. Yeah, I'm in a. I was actually in a short documentary film. I don't remember what the title of it was.
Was it about the residents?
No, it was about being a woman in the music industry, which was bizarre that I was asked to appear in. But I did it anyway. I don't remember what it's called.
In the big city.
Yeah. Ah.
Well, this has been Being Mr. Book Volume 4 and Being Mr. Boop, the podcast. The end of the whole thing. This is
We're
it.
done.
Forever.
There's no more episodes ever happening of this show. Ever.
Probably true.
Ever.
What's your final promotion?
Go to check out that article I wrote, cryptic-corp.tumblr.com. I don't know, I don't got nothing.
I will promote
Go listen to a better podcast than this. You know what, listeners?
Listen to two guys talking about lettuce.
Yeah. You guys are going to be sad now that your favorite podcast is over. Don't worry. When my favorite podcast ended several years ago, they actually gave a bunch of recommendations, and those are the podcasts I still listen to nowadays.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go one at a time. Being Jim Davis.
The Weekly Planet. That's comic book review. Not comic book review. That's a media news podcast that's funny.
Two guys talking about lettuce.
Talking Simpsons.
Similarly awkward to ours.
Oh,
Lisa has yet to listen to it, even though
No.
I keep telling Lisa
Talking Simpsons, a podcast about analyzing and discussing the production of The Simpsons.
to.
Episode by
Analyze
episode.
that.
Analyze that. The podcast.
No.
Brought to you by DB.
Chris and Jack podcast pilots the pilot. Or oh no, it's podcast pilots the podcast, which is they just do. I haven't actually listened to this podcast, but I like the idea of it. They just every episode they come up with like two different pilots for a podcast that they do on the spot. They come up with ideas for like potential podcasts, and they just act out pilots for that.
That's a good idea.
We
should do that.
I do kind of wish we could do that, but it's taken. The idea is taken. It was a good idea for a podcast, just like two guys talking about lettuce.
Yeah. The Auntie Donna podcast, 30-minute improv sketch.
You're just listening podcasts you like. I guess I am too. But I also feel like these are similarly awkward and misguided in our sort of vein. Magmar sucks. No, not really.
No, don't listen to that one.
I can't think of another.
Have you
well,
have you guys heard the Pitstrop Patreon RSS feed? Guys like that one?
My friend Wyatt had a podcast about Weird Al that I was on once. I don't know if it's still up. Straight out of Albuquerque. If that ever comes back, listen to it. I'll recommend my favorite podcast.
All right. Well, you just did one, so it's my go now.
Well, that's not a real podcast anymore, though. I don't think. I don't know. No, I'm just gonna say my favorite podcast, and you can say your favorite podcast. The Yog Pod. That's probably my favorite podcast.
You got to give it a little bio of it, don't you?
Nah.
All right.
It's just the Yogscast podcast.
Just a name.
I like their dynamic.
All right. Filthy Casuals, Australia gaming podcast. That's very
That's your
funny.
favorite podcast?
I've already listed all my favorite. My favorite podcast is the Talking Simpsons podcast. They have such a great structure about them.
You didn't say what a cartoon.
If you find Talking Simpsons, you'll get to What a Cartoon. What a Cartoon's basically a spin-off of that. But Talking Simpsons is considered the more accessible of the two.
Does
'cause it's more
Alec have a
popular.
podcast?
He has that Mario thing that he did, doesn't he?
But that wasn't a podcast.
I don't think he has a podcast.
You know, we haven't checked that out still. Huh.
Yeah, sad.
What is that? I can't remember the website that I have all my Linktree. You promoted like a random thing. I was gonna promote a random thing for my Linktree that I couldn't think of.
Mm-hmm.
I will promote. I feel like being Mr. Boop is already the most random thing on here.
We are random.
We're super random.
XD and all that.
XD and all that. Oh, you can look at my IMDb user profile. That's my username on IMDb is Homer the Freak -786 -658831 or imdb.com/user/UR46461756. I've been an IMDb member for 9 years. You can look at the IMDb pages I've edited and contributed to. You can see all my lists. You can see my watch list with over 3,000 things on it. You can see these stupid reviews I left a while ago that I should probably get rid of.
Bizarrely, I just looked up what the name of that documentary short I'm in. It's called U+2640. I don't know what that means.
Have you not seen it?
I've seen the documentary. Well, no, I haven't seen it because I was too embarrassed to watch myself. So I didn't attend the premiere, but Sophia's seen it.
And why'd you say I've seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I didn't say that.
I said, have you seen it? And you said, well, I've seen the documentary. Wait, no, I haven't seen it.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah.
I thought I'd seen it.
Okay.
But not. Check out the Meet the Residents wiki. That's the thing I'm most proud of.
No, okay. Check out fucking, I don't know, the Being Jim Davis subreddit.
Yeah. I don't I also co-moderate that?
Yeah, but you don't contribute.
No, but what's there to contribute to?
I post every now and then.
Uh-huh.
You don't post.
What's there to post about? Everything. I mean,
I
why
posted
would
a
I
few Being Jim Davis out of context clips. That was pretty funny.
Okay, but why would I talk to the Being Jim Davis community through the Reddit when I could talk to the Being Jim Davis community through the show?
Well, that's it. Thanks for sticking out for this wild ride.
I hated this podcast. I hate every second of it.
Lentils and
I hate
germs.
podcasting. I hate podcast. I hate the structure of this thing. I hate everything
you.
about it.
Thank you.
I wish this was 30 minutes of improv like Auntie Donna. and I wish it was more
that what
informative.
they're-
Yeah, that's what that.
Would you like to
podcast
do
is.
30 more minutes of improv?
Oh, I'd
Finish
love
this
it.
out.
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
I am waiting for a bus.
Oh my god, here it comes. It's the Down with Sis bus.
Oh shit!
Oh no,
Well,
I
that's
gotta get out of here.
good. That's good. That's good.
They're gonna run me over. This sucks.
we could have. We
Got the long. We're just gonna have like 30 minutes of outro music going over this 30 minutes of improv.
Wow.
Wow. Oh,
you
it didn't
believe-
stop
can you-
because there's no bus stop here.
there's no
It
bus.
didn't stop.
Let's have. Listen.
I am eating an orange. This is a
Oh.
tasty orange.
Is it really? Where did you get it from? Where did you get that?
The blood orange store.
Oh, the blood orange. Wait, was that one of down the street? That's right nearby the
No.
place. No.
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 No,
but?
and it is.
No. And
No,
see.
No, and it is actually in Uruguay. It's
It's
in
actually
another
miles
country.
from anywhere. You'd know.
It's countries away.
Oh, that's cool.
This
like
isn't a
in-
blood orange anyway.
Oh, and like
They had it in
You-
the back.
you-
I think someone brought it in for their lunch and I
no,
just took
right? No, okay. Do you ever get lonely? Do you ever get?
it. Yeah,
get
I don't know what
sad.
that has to do with my orange.
No, I'm just thinking out loud. Really. I've been waiting at this bus stop for like 5 days now.
Wait, did I
or
say
something.
no?
Yeah, you said no.
I didn't
You
mean to
said
say that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
I meant no. It has nothing to do with my orange. Yes,
oh,
I do.
oh,
get lonely.
yes, you get. Okay. Well, maybe we could, we could be lonely together, perhaps.
How would that work?
Or we just.
How are you
sit
gonna
at
be
this-
lonely if we're together?
We'd sit at this bench and we'd think about how alone
Makes
we
sense.
are. We wouldn't acknowledge that you're sitting next to me, right? But you're not really a part of the. You're part. You're
We're literally
contributing-
having a conversation right
You
now.
contribute to the loneliness by being there. Like I'm alone in a crowded room. You know what I'm talking about, right?
But we're literally like socializing.
Oh, there's
right
my
now.
bus. Sorry, I gotta go.
Oh, it
I'm
just drove
going
by.
I'm going to a part. Oh,
Are you
Oh.
running after it? Wait, come
no,
back.
no. Oh,
I'm chasing after you now.
you're chasing. Well, okay.
Why?
Did you not get
where's
on
the next bus stop?
Well, I mean, the buses come. Another bus is gonna come. They come like every 5 minutes, right?
Why are we still running then?
I'm not running. What are you doing? No, I'm not running.
Oh, hang on. Let me go back.
Yeah, what are you doing? You gotta
I'll
come back.
stop
Come
now.
on. We're
I guess I'm running circles
Yeah,
around you. I'll stop, I'll
we're
stop.
sitting at the. Yeah, okay. We're sitting at the bus stop, right? We're waiting for this bus.
Maybe you are.
No, okay. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm sitting at this.
I'm
bus stop.
kind
What
of
are
jogging in place.
you- Yeah. Oh, okay. You getting your exercise done? Really, like your steps in, right? A lot of people have
I don't have a stepson.
No, you don't have a stepson. You have
Yeah.
a biological son. No,
I
the son of the
have a
Mars?
bastard son.
Ah, out of wedlock. Yeah, no.
Oh, is that
Oh,
what
that's-
that means?
yeah,
No, I just
that-
think he's a little bastard.
Oh, you just hate him. Oh, there's the
Yeah.
bus again. I'm gonna get on it, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what do you?
I jumped onto it. I had
You
to catch
jumped on.
it.
You jumped. Okay. Well, there's a seat at the front and a seat at the back. So I'm just gonna sit at the back. And here's my idea. You sit at the front. Let's not talk to each other anymore.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Sorry. No, yeah.
Who the fuck is playing elevator music in
I
this
don't know.
bus?
I thought that was you humming. That's not you humming.
No, and
Oh,
it stopped
okay.
as soon as I said that.
Oh,
weirdly enough.
No, that's not. I think that was you humming. Try.
I don't think so.
Be silent for it again. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
All right. No, there it is again. There it is again. It really sounds like humming, and like your lips are moving like you're humming. It really. I don't really understand. I don't really.
Across the sea.
No. Okay.
I live in an island. In an island. Like inside the island. Under the sand. I'm suffocating. Can't breathe. Under the sand.
Oh, dead.
What the fuck was that?
What? What, did you hear something?
Yeah, like they were lyrics to it this time. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to interrupt it again because I wanted to see
Okay.
where it went.
No, yeah.
That was.
You want to
Okay.
start a podcast?
Yeah, what should it be about?
I really like the idea of doing something informative. Do you
Have
like
you
the
ever
show
heard of this? Have you ever heard of this strip, Mr. Boop?
Have you?
Hey, what's your
Wait,
name? What's your name?
Oh, it's Lisa
Does it rhyme
Doop.
with oop? But huh?
It's Lisa Doop.
Oh my god, that rhymes with Mr. Boop. You should check.
You know
out
what?
the
I
strip.
recognize you. I recognize your voice. You're on that Being Jim Davis show a bunch, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
you
I
know?
mean, yeah. Come on, of course you know who I am. If you're a Being Jim Davis fan, you know you.
Huh?
Yep, I just said my name and sounding like this. Huh?
Huh?
You know, I mean, if you're a Being Jim Davis fan, it's not
I've
too
been
many.
on it. I don't know if I'd say I'm a
Oh,
fan.
you've never. Oh, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, no, no.
This isn't reality. It's a little bit like off from reality. Obviously, we're on
Yeah,
a bus
no.
instead of on a
No.
Discord chat.
No, okay. No. Yeah.
So I'm not.
You don't like do the synopsis with the at all.
Huh? What are you talking about?
They stopped doing synopses like a year ago, didn't they? Because
Dark
you weren't
alternate
there.
reality.
You.
This is like. I wish I'd never been on Being Jim Davis. I wish I'd never been on Being Jim Davis.
Because
Here
of
is
you.
the world if you'd never been on Being Jim Davis.
Chris,
No, it can't be true.
because you weren't there, Chris had to funnel his rage into John.
No! Anyway, back to the scenario. Now I'm a ghost.
The other thing I would have liked.
Ghost. Oh.
The other thing I would have liked to have made Mr. Boop, or if I had another podcast, more informative, more like a documentary that's talk between two people. You know what I mean?
Oh, were you Kong?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm.
Oh.
Yeah. Let me-
You're Kong.
Yeah. You want me to do the voice? People always want me to do the voice. No, I can. I'll start. It's vaguely racist, is what I've been told.
What?
Second time I was on the show, Chris was like, oh, "The Kong voice is vaguely racist, isn't it?" I was like, "Oh yeah,
They
it is."
say that
So
about everything.
I sort of changed it after that. So
Am I wrong? They say that about everything.
I think they're more woke than you. That's just what you're.
Maybe performatively. Good thing we're fading out. We've been fading out the whole time. For 30 minutes. How long has it been? How far are we into the 30 minutes we've been running?
I've been counting.
Why are you doing the elevator music?
What?
Like,
I'm not.
playing
Who's doing-
before, but now you're humming.
No, I'm not doing the what? That was just
Pretty
from
sure
the.
you are.
No, that was just from the bus, right? That was just the noise. The bus. That was the same. No, earlier you were doing it, but now it's.
I was not.
No, you.
Excuse
were.
me?
That was what you were doing.
Maybe we should stop yelling across the bus.
What?
Because I'm in the front and you're in the back.
Yeah, no, I know, but like people, it's just us. There's no one else on the bus, so like it doesn't
It's the
really.
bus driver. Oh my god, I didn't realize this is a Tesla bus.
Andy Serkis is the bus driver. Wow.
He's video calling in.
Oh, hello there. I'm Andy Serkis. I did the.
I thought you had a British accent.
This is a British accent, is it not? No?
Doesn't sound. No, it doesn't
Oh,
sound
I'm
like it.
sorry.
Well, life.
I don't prove your. I don't believe you're Andy Serkis. Can we see your ID?
I do.
Can I see your ID? I'm pretty bad at improv because I just keep snickering to myself. Not that this is improv, this is real life, but
You just set people up to do bits from famous movies. Like
I briefly thought about like what if I took an improv class, and I just feel like that would be like I don't know.
I took 3 lessons of an improv class, then I got COVID, and then I was I'm not feeling- like I missed like 3
When was
lessons.
this?
This was like earlier this year. I missed 3 lessons because I got COVID, and I was like, they're probably like way ahead of me. I can't go back.
We should both, you and me together, find like an online improv course and take it together.
Hone our skills, then we become a duo.
Somebody shut this fucking radio off.
Oh, I'm Andy Serkis. I'll shut your radio off. You know, I was Gollum.
There we go.
Right?
That's Andy
I was
Serkis.
Gollum. Did you see Gollum?
Oh, was Gollum in it?
Did you see Gollum? Did you see it?
You seen Lord of the Rings? I was Gollum in it.
No, I wasn't in Lord of the Rings. I was in Gollum. They told me it was Gollum. That's what the movie.
They told me it was the Gollum movie.
They told me they were making. I said, "Wasn't that character from them dead Lord of the Rings books?" And they said, "No, this is the Gollum."
This is Gollum the movie.
Because I have a stipulation. I have to be the lead in any movie I'm in. I have to be the lead in any movie I'm in. So they make up a lie. They tell me that the movie. When I was in Black Panther. When I was in Black Panther, they told me that I was in the Black.
They told me I would be the Black Panther.
They told me it was the Andy Serkis character from Black Panther movie.
They told me I would be doing motion capture for an actual Black Panther.
But they didn't really, baby. They really
So
didn't.
they didn't let me. So when I did the Jungle Book, I put a Black Panther in it.
I really liked being Rise of the Planet of the Apes because that was when I could really be myself. I was the lead in that movie, and that's what I meant to
Because
be.
I am an ape, as all us humans are. As all us humans are.
I was in.
We all are apes.
I was in the film adaptation of that Alfred show. You know, you seen the Alfred show, right?
The what?
They made
Oh.
the Alfred, the origin of Batman's
Pennyworth.
butler. Yeah, Pennyworth.
Yeah.
The origin of
You were in
Batman's
the
butler.
film adaptation.
I was in the film adaptation of that show. They called it Pennyworth.
The Pennyworth. They said, "Oh, a penny for your worth."
Yeah, and that was my line. And I said it every
time Batman would speak to his butler,
He's
Batman
my
would
penny.
say, "Oh, a
He'd say,
penny for your worth."
he'd say, and he had this horrible little voice. He'd say, "Oh, I'm Batman. I need your help." Andy Serkis is Pennyworth, and I'd say, "Well, he's a
I'm
penny."
a penny for your worth, and you'd only ever pay me a penny a day.
And there wouldn't be any more than a penny. It was just awful stuff.
It would
I
be
was-
penny more.
You know, I was actually. You seen that 2005 movie? You see? Have you seen that? Have you seen that Peter Jackson film?
Oh yes, I have, Andy Serkis.
Have you seen? What's it called? That Peter Jackson film, the 2005 one. I was in that, right? I was Kong. I was actually Kong.
Kong.
In the yeah, for
Kong,
real.
we're talking to Kong here, Kong.
This isn't even a bit. This isn't a bit. Andy Serkis was Kong in King Kong 2005.
I'm aware.
That was it. That's not even a
I
thing
know.
I'm making up right now.
I know.
Andy Serkis. I usually lie about the roles I'm in, you know, as like a bit, right? But I'm
Were
really.
you lying about being Gollum and Gollum?
I wasn't. Well, no, I was really a Gollum. I lie about silly stuff. Nothing I've said right now. I lied about being in the Star Wars. Told you I was in Star Wars, right? I was Star.
You mean you lied about that?
I was in Star. I told it to my agent. I said I was
on camera. I said, no,
He's like, oh, right, sorry, I meant I was Snoke. You what? Yeah, I was Snoke. You know, everyone knows Snoke.
Was you Snoke? Was he really Snoke?
Yeah, of course. Right.
Yeah, he does his little thing. This guy's talking to himself. I don't feel safe on this bus anymore.
Let's get off this bus.
So anyway, now that those two have gone, we can continue having our lovely conversation, right?
Well, I think this is time for us to part ways on this bus stop.
We only got off one stop. We only took one stop. Well, I mean,
Let's have buses work.
do you know that? No, you know that he was in coma? Yeah, and he was calm. I never knew that. I really didn't.
Yeah, no, you were calm.
Well, yeah, no, I was calm. Like, according to the law of King Tim Davis, I was confused. I was confused.
Yeah, does that mean any circus is your dad?
No, Andy Serkis is like my I guess he's like my stepfather. But like, in reality, Andy Serkis is just a guy who played my dad in the films after I was old.
But you're not really calm anyway.
No, I am Chris. No, because he was original Kong. He was original Kong, right? And he
But you're calling another character you play, like Andy Serkis plays.
No. Like Kong was a character. Kong, my dad was in the Kong 1930s. But then when he got old and retired, he gave it to me because I looked the most like Kong, right? Because I'm Kong over here, right?
You're the calm voice right now. Just the calm voice.
You know when Kong doing Kong voice. You know. And so basically, then I was in the Kong movies from the 70s and 80s, right? And then Circus took my place for the year 2005. I was in Kong 75, I think, and what?